beauty.
So you anxiously waiting for for Nikita to throw that switch?
Yeah, I am. I am. I think it's hard for creators, right? Because you don't know when it's coming. You don't know whether you're gonna like which bits of Christmas. Because we've got families too, and
Right.
they're thinking about days and gonna see this person on this day and stuff. And I'm just like, man, if it wipes like the 2 days before, that sucks.
Yes. Yeah.
So like trying to manage that. The summer one was a lot easier actually. It was kind of nice to go into the summer wipe.
Yeah.
Because then you've got basically every day is just free. So
Yeah. And then
yeah, I can't wait.
and trying to explain it to family. Well, we're waiting for something to happen in a video game. And it's like, you're going to hold off Christmas for, it's just, people.
Fortunately, my family are pretty. My extended family maybe a little bit less so, but my immediate family are very, they're very on it. They understand. They know the deal.
Nice.
Which is good. That helps. It definitely helps.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. My prediction is Boxing Day. I think that's,
Really?
Yeah. Just because it's after Christmas. And
Not
hey,
me.
look at this.
Am I in?
You're in.
You're in.
Welcome.
You're in.
Great.
So nice
Is
to
it
see
working?
you, dude.
Can you hear me okay?
We hear you.
Are you fine?
Great. Good.
Where are the gloves, though?
Sorry,
I thought it was
just
cold
plugged it
upstairs.
in. I can go get them if you like, but I've turned the radiator on finally.
Oh, love the
How are you
sweatshirt.
doing?
Member of the 5800 X3D club.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You were talking about 3Ds, yes.
We both got the same CPU. I followed in John's footsteps and gone and got the same
Yeah.
CPU.
It's made such a big difference. I'm really glad because I didn't fancy sort of going for the next gen, whatever the 7000 ones, especially things they didn't have a 3D version yet. But like for the price to sort of upgrade, however much, I think I sold my old one on eBay, so it probably only cost me about 250, 300 quid.
Pretty good.
All in, and definitely got a good upgrade there. Whoa! So I haven't really talked to anyone today. I've talked to my wife a little bit, but that's just sort of autopilot. I'm like, hello, how's your day going?
Yeah.
Tarkov stuff. I'm allowed to talk about Tarkov.
You can talk, talk Tarkov, talk the holidays, man. It's just kick back and have a good evening here. That's what this is about.
Cool. I've made a cup of tea, so
I also have a cup of tea as well.
You too.
Oh, you've got an insulated cup as well. Look,
there you go.
Cheers.
I busted this out. This one, I rabbit hole researched this last. Who is it?
What's this one?
It's a thermos one. I don't
Okay.
use it too much, but it's good.
That's
But I
good.
made my wife order me a Yeti one for Christmas this
Nice.
year. A sort of a one that's a bit like a flask, but you can turn it and then just drink out of it.
Oh, nice. Ah.
Black, of course, to do the cost.
Of course.
Vibe.
This one actually came from. I've been working with the guys at Outplay, the video recording thing. I've done like a bunch of sponsors with them,
Oh,
and they sent me
cool.
this,
Oh.
which is really cool.
Ooh, that's
So I was like,
nice.
oh, it's actually pretty nice. So
Oh,
I'm quite pleased
wow.
with it. Yeah, they were just like, oh, here's a holiday gift, like It's,
Oh, that's lovely.
That's really cool actually. Yeah, it was really nice of them.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, you two are the first in. Happy holidays, guys. Nice to see you both again.
Yeah. First in the party. This is like my real life sort of socially awkward. Yeah, it's just us then. Is there anyone else coming?
No, just us. That's it. No. So, you guys all ready for the holidays?
I think I am.
Oh, Dan's in the place.
Dan's
Danny.
coming in.
I'm not ready at all. We haven't got any decorations up in the house at all. I ordered a cheap white stick-like LED Christmas tree thing today, just so we've got something. But I don't know. Despite appearing to be upbeat, we have previously discussed my sort of gothness and disdain for a lot of things. And I like Christmas, but like I just can't be arsed with a lot of it.
Actually, that brings up so over there, do you guys have, fake Christmas trees or real Christmas trees? What is the norm over there?
What would you say is the norm? I think like in my childhood, I remember having real Christmas trees, but we quickly switched over to fake ones. I think once they came down in price a bunch, then they're fake ones. I've always had a fake one.
Yeah.
In my adult life.
We live near Windsor, and we went to there's a farm shop, the Royal Farm Shop, I'm in Windsor, and I needed to like charge the battery up in my car to drive somewhere. So we drove to Windsor and went to the Royal Farm shop to like get Christmas present things. And their Christmas trees were £70. That's
Oh.
like, I don't know, $90.
Yeah.
Hence, I didn't buy a Christmas tree.
Well,
Hello,
let's...
Dan. Hello, Dan.
There he
Dan.
is.
Hello.
It works.
Dan.
Yes.
Dan.
What's up, guys?
Dan.
Happy holidays.
I'm trying
Happy
to have a
holidays,
find
mate.
to lift up my. If I do that, I look less fat. No, I'm still.
You are not
fat.
fat. Stop it.
I'm looking fat-faced at the
Oh,
moment.
stop it. Yeah, over my little town, they're going for $80 for a, cut your own tree. And luckily, we
you
found a
can cut it
place for
down?
$40. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah,
You
luckily.
guys have all the wood though, right?
We
You've
do
got all
have
the
lots
trees.
of wood. We have a lot of space. We have a lot of, yeah, it's $80. It's just crazy for something you use for a few weeks.
Yeah.
You know?
The last few times I got real ones, I bought like a little one that was in a pot that was real,
Okay.
and then sort of kept it alive for a bit, and then left it in my garden and forgot about it, and it died anyway. I gave one to my dad, and it's growing in his garden somewhere. But again, they're just so expensive.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I used to have a plastic one, but I don't know. Storage.
Yeah.
Christmas mecca. Don't buy any decorations. Don't put them up. Then you don't have to take them down again.
Humbug.
Yes. Dan, how about you? Christmas decorations are all up?
Well, mine?
Yes.
Nah.
You've got cats anyway, haven't you? They'll be massacred by the.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not really a big Christmas person, to be honest. Like, just I don't know. It was great when I was a kid, but like, I think for me, growing up as a kid, it was always a material thing. Like looking back at it now, the only reason why I was excited for Christmas as a kid was the possibility of getting new toys or like, games for PlayStation and stuff like that. And I think that kind of conditioned me to not really appreciate the family side of things. And without going into too much detail, like I don't really, it's just me and Alison and Rodney, really. So like we just do our own thing. I think Alison's working over Christmas. I'll be streaming Christmas anyway, so it's just another day. It's just colder. Do you know what I mean? Not to sound grumpy and stuff, but I don't know. It's not really for me. Like I love the fact that kids get excited for Christmas and stuff like that, and I know that it's a big deal for people who are family orientated. But like, I don't know. We're just not really like that. So it kind of we don't really experience the magic like a lot of people do. Unfortunately,
it changes when you have kids. Giga probably will, attest to this too. That morning when they come running down, they're excited, and it's really cool.
Yeah, they're still a little young for that at the minute, unfortunately, because they're 6 weeks and 2 in a little bit.
Oh,
so
2! I thought she was like 3 or 4. So
not
yeah,
quite, not
okay.
quite. So we kind of got 1 year left. She knows what Christmas is, and she's excited for it, but it's still a little bit kind of every present's her present. Like. She opens every present. She's the house present opener at this point.
Fair play.
Nice. Now, Dan, do you guys got any snow where you are right now, or do any of you have any snow?
We do down here. Yeah, my car's still covered in it. It hasn't melted yet.
Oh shoot!
Bloody hell.
Not too much, but by American standards, you're like it hasn't snowed. It's nothing. Only like not even 1 inch really. It's nice though. It's nice to go out and have a little walk in it the other day.
Yeah.
I like how everything's a lot quieter when there's snow. It sort of absorbs the audio a bit, and there's less people out, less cars and things. I do like that, but as long as I haven't got anywhere I've got to travel, if I've got a flight coming up or an important gig, and I'm like, no, not the snow, I can't do it. What am I gonna? Or the flight will get cancelled, and I'll be sat in the airport for all day, and then if I do manage to get there, there'll be no time to spare for anything, and all that crap. So
now, do you have any traveling coming up before holidays?
No, I've got a gig in Budapest on the 28th of December, like after Christmas. They've asked me to do like an audio visual thing as well. I've only done that a few times before. So as well as DJing, I take a second laptop and run the visuals out of the other laptop. Basically, I'm going to be running OBS off another laptop with a Stream Deck, and triggering different scenes when I do play different songs or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of prep I need to do to get that up to speed from when I did it last time, and it's already like a bit stressy when I have gigs anyway, because I use my laptop and I have to connect various things up to the mixer. Me and my friends, we call it like diffusing the bomb, because you're doing it in a very dark, loud, stressy environment, like literally minutes before you have to start performing, because someone else is DJing on the same equipment, and you've got to kind of set up while they're finishing without bumping into them or being too annoying, getting in the way. But you're so yeah, on top of the usual, I've got a responsible for all the visuals too.
Oh
So
shoot, that's gonna be crazy.
my Christmas will be spent worrying about that and working on it, I guess.
So you're not gonna be worried about when Tarkov wipes then?
Well, I mean, that's the one thing I'm living for at the moment. I'm so excited about the wipe. Like, I can't wait to play like for long sessions and stuff, and just it's the one time when I feel like I can justify it. And I'm like, Magda, I'm gonna play lots this week. Okay, you've got to allow it. So I hope
Allow
it happens. Yeah. And I had to finish my VAT and my accounts and stuff last week, because our deadline in the UK is January 31st. So I sort of have to send all my stuff to my accountant.
Yeah.
They've been asking for it for months. And the clock keeps ticking, and I'm like, oh shit. I finally finished that a couple of days ago, which is a great weight off my mind.
Well
so I'm
done.
glad that's done, because if the wipe had happened when that was still unfinished, I'd be like, oh no, I just like desperate to go and get my shotgun out and get this scabs on customs. And I've got to bloody add up invoices for sandwiches I've had in airports or something.
Yeah. Well, it opens up in July, doesn't it? It's I think we're able to do it from like the 1st of July or something in the UK, and you've got from July until January or something.
And we all leave it till December, and then the poor accountants have got like 3 weeks to do everybody's tax returns.
And Dan, what are you thinking for a date for the wipe?
Oh, I don't know, mate.
No predictions?
I can't be asked to predict it. What's the point?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It'll happen when I know I sound so I'm sorry, guys. I'm really bringing the mood down here, aren't I? It's not. I do apologize. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing Tarkov for long enough now, man. Like, it just happens when it happens, and we'll just see when it happens. Do you know what I mean? Like,
are you a little excited to see what they're going to do? Because last Christmas they did a big, it was we had VoIP and it was a good update.
Yeah, I mean, we should be seeing hopefully the first iteration of Streets.
Yeah.
I imagine. With that might be the physics that we saw during the Streets trailers. And then of course Zriachi, and Lightkeeper, in-raid trader and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Should be really cool. I always get excited for major changes in the game. Like, what's going to change the way that I think? What's going to change the way that I play the game?
Yeah.
And I've said this to my guys a lot over the last few months. The big things that I'm looking forward to are story quests, like the storyline, the actual like story mode, if you like. And arena, because they're going to be different ways to experience the Tarkov, the Tarkov engine, the Tarkov, the way that the game plays. I think after 10,000 hours in the game over the last 5 years, my brain's kind of done with the pocket watch now. Like, I'm sort of,
oh God, no more pocket watches.
Kind of looking forward to seeing what else is going to be happening. Things like VoIP was a big game changer. Things like the weight system and inertia was a big game changer, because it changes the way you think and it changes the way you deal with situations. Just having a wipe, for me, after I'm probably in double figures now when it comes to wipes. It sort of loses its charm in a way, I think, because there's only so many times you want to do the exact same quest over and over.
Yeah.
Whether or not the implementation of Streets will change the early quest, because as far as we're aware, back in the day, the plan was you'd start off on Streets. Like, Streets would be the first location that you'd start, and then you'd go all the way through and around to terminal at the end.
Yeah.
Like that was the legacy plan, if you like. Is I don't know if it's changed or not. We haven't really got any more news about that.
Yeah.
But that was always the plan at the very beginning, is that you'd start off in streets and then you'd work your way through the locations. Whether that's still the plan or not, no idea. We could see a massive change up in the early game, because if the early game now with Tarkov starts on streets, like that's going to be huge. That's going to be a massive game changer, because it's going to change the whole experience. Rather than trying to go for the pocket watch and then golden Zibbo and everything else on customs for the first 2 weeks.
Oh, look who it is!
How are you?
It's Kevin.
How are we?
Happy holidays!
Party's here, people. The party is here. How are you? Well, listen, I've been watching you for the past 10 minutes. Where's the beer?
I got one here.
I'm 4 years sober.
About a second time. I thought I was the only alcoholic here. What was going on? How are we?
We're good. You?
I'm sorry that I rudely interrupted you all.
That's all fun. We had a good conversation about hot cups of tea beforehand, and I was thinking before I came on, I was just like, you know what? For context, I have a 6-week-old baby, so I was like, I was just like, oh, I really wish I could just like sit and have a beer. But I know straight after this, I'm going to be going straight upstairs and be dealing with baby stuff. So I was just like, man, it's a cup of tea for me, I'm afraid.
This is the most British conversation I have ever been in. The first conversation was tea. Here's another tea.
I discovered a new tea last week that I really like. Tesco's had some on like the Twinings teas. They're normally like £3.50 for a packet of them, and they were £1.50 on offer. So I bought loads, some like go to sleep ones with like apple and shit. And normally I don't really like those herbal ones. They're boring, but this one was slightly less boring. But it's actually nice. I actually look forward to it. And I'm like, oh, this is a nice appley tea.
Go to sleep.
There you go, rock and roll here.
Oh my god, this is a great party. Talking about tea.
yeah, glad you came. Yeah.
Oh, great. Well, how are we all getting on? Merry Christmas and happy Jesus.
Yes, and you. We're all good. Dan was just sharing his. We were just talking about Tarkov. If they start things off with streets as your base for your quest, that would change up, a whole lot of things.
It's terrifying. The thought of that is terrifying. Like, if they did that to me with Lighthouse, I'd still be lost.
Yes, Lighthouse, absolutely.
I know it's been around for a while, but it's kind of I like the comfort of just bumbling around customs now at the beginning of because I know where things are a bit.
You're not supposed to be comfortable, John. You're not allowed to.
I know. Yeah, maybe that's what I need. Yeah.
That's the problem. Tarkov players have gotten too comfortable, man, and we need a shake up.
I'm happy being comfortable. I still go around to have fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the quest shake-up. I think hopefully we get something big on that front. But I mean, like recently I've been doing these like 0 to hero runs, which I've never really done before. There's someone in chat who convinced me to do them. And they've been so much fun, honestly. It's just you. Well, I mean, I've been bringing the hatchet so I can like kill a scav or something, but it's just like trying to find what you get in raid and like going, okay, do I need this? Like, should I keep this or this thing? Oh, but if I get a gun that's got like a side mount, I can keep this scope, and maybe I keep this one around me. Should I keep this stack of rounds? Like, what if I find a pistol though? It's all of that, and those decisions are what I like. And I've actually been having way more fun with 0 to hero than I thought I would because of that and that reason in particular. And it's been great. And also you can have raids where you don't even see any PMCs and you're like desperately fighting against scavs with like 6 rounds in a mag bomb or something. And like chat's going crazy and like you're like nearly dead and there's no painkiller. You're like trying to painkiller yourself as like crawling towards the manhole and stuff on reserve. It's been nuts without even seeing any other players. Like it opened up a whole new sort of type of Tarkov for me. It just shows me that is the route that the game should go in. It's so much better. It's so much more exciting. It makes you make so many more hard decisions rather than just like. The problem is, right? People like me will play the game and just go like, "Here's the meta pattern." Is I'll be like using this gun because this is the best gun. Then we go to Prep 2, and then I unlock PP, and then I use the AK-74N for the next 5 rounds, and then I go to this, and then I unlock this quest, and then we unlock BP, and then we do that. It's just like there's a pathway because of the way the traders are. Whereas if it's just random stuff in raid, it's way cooler.
And Gibbons, what do? You just run in there, grab your gun, and go nuts.
Oh, geez, yeah. Just go interacting with people and see what the story is, see what they all getting on. That's about it. I don't be doing the quest at all. But do you know what? I think now I am a fart away from Kappa. And Dan, you awful bollocks here, because I've been looking for your streamer item for the past. I found it today for the first time. The whole 6 months has it been? I've
Yeah,
been
like
looking
that,
for
yeah.
it for the last 6 months, and I found
did
it
you
today in
find
Lighthouse in a jacket. I was running around the house naked with excitement, and I thought it was so funny as well because when I tapped into the stream, I saw Dan was there. I was like, "Asher, Jesus, what are the odds?" Do you know what I mean?
There you
So
go, mate. Links by fate.
It was excellent, but I have one more Kappa item now to get.
Gingy, I bet.
Oh, look at that! There he is.
No,
The real one. IRL.
Oh, that's beautiful.
There you go.
That
How's
is
that?
gorgeous.
Love it.
That's lovely. But no, geez, how many times have I found Gingy's one? I found Gingy's like a
Really?
dozen times now. Yeah.
No way.
Because fun fact, I traded a red key card. I got a red key card from
Lord.
Night? So I traded the red key card for 20 Dorms keys, a Twitch rival armband, and a Red Rebel on the first month of wipe.
Wow. Okay.
So it was 100% a cheater. Like, I mean, what person has 20 Dorms mark keys in the first month of wipe? You know.
I'm just gonna write that down real quick. Here we go.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So I went into Dorms. I don't know, like I've used up all the keys, and I found Gingy's keychain. I don't know how many times over. At
Okay.
least a dozen.
Yeah, because I only had one, right? So that was I needed Dan's item and Gingy. Those are the two that I need.
Oh, you'll find it no bother inside Dorm's room, but I'm looking around there. The evasion armband is the last one I need. So I'm manifesting that I'll get it tomorrow. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, good luck. It's usually the Willer's wallet that a lot of people have been struggling with. At least earlier on in the wipe. I don't know if the spawn rates have been adjusted, but I don't hear people or see people complaining so much about the Willer's wallet anymore. It's usually the key and
your key was very difficult. It was the first time I saw it. It was inside a random jacket.
I found yours like once recently. I mean, Kappa's not a reality for me, but I keep the items anyway.
Yeah. Well, it isn't for me either.
Yeah, fair play.
I kind of just want to go for it just to say that I have it and make a tweet about it and just get a bit of credit from it. You know what I mean? But I mean, look, if I don't get it, it's not the end of the world. I just do it for the crack. I just do it for the fun, the laughs, and all that. But I think everyone's like, "Oh no, Gibbon, when you're doing the 24-hour stream, you should go ahead and you should go for Kappa." So I was like, "All right, I'll do that." So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. But hopefully, we'll see what goes.
Now, is tomorrow your charity stream?
Yeah,
Nice.
I can't wait. I cannot wait for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. It's going to be huge. It's going to be massive. I have like a few streamers who are going to be helping me out for that. But yeah, no, it's exciting. I so it started off where I was just like, look, I want to get in contact with them and just see, look, is it okay that I can just donate to you? I mean, like, what's the worst they could do? Like, they couldn't say no.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh no, Jesus, yeah, no, we watch your TikToks all the time. Yeah, no, well, let's do it. I was like, what? And then one of the main marketers was he's been following me on TikTok for since February, he said. And they were interested and contacted me in April. And then they were blown away that I contacted them there like last week or the week before. So they've been ridiculously supportive. They've been like sending me like shagging t-shirts and the whole lot.
Oh shoot.
So I can't wait to get that on tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
But it'll be like the first 24-hour stream that I've done in like a year and a half, and it'll be the first charity stream that I've ever done. So it'll be interesting to see how it works out.
How many of you have done the 24-hour streams before? Have you all done them?
And hi, by the way.
Hey, Ariana, where's your camera?
Yeah, I've done a couple. They're pretty rough, man. Like anyone that's done a 24 will say like there's a certain period of time where you sort of start having an out of body experience, and then you like
it lasts like
you're
4
watching,
hours.
Yeah, you're watching yourself stream kind of thing. You're like have this like existential crisis where you're just like you just transcend, and it's like oh shit, and then. Yeah, it's really weird. Like the first 12 hours, you think, yeah, okay, everything's going fine. Like we're pacing ourselves really well, and then there's this like dip, and you're just like, and then towards the end, it's like I could actually do this again, but it's weird. Yeah, it's a strange experience for sure. I think we all sort of experience it differently, but 24s are nuts.
Oh, yeah, they're nuts. They're crazy. I'm looking forward to now to see how it work out because like I'm 28 now, so I feel like I'll just be dying like here, like asleep or something, like fucking knocked out, whatever, you know. But no, I'll never forget the last time I did the 24-hour. I think it was the last like 2 or 3 hours. I was a zombie. I was as pale as a ghost. I didn't want to do anything at all. I just wanted to get off, and I was like, guys, I'm getting off. And then people were like subbing some more because it was like more or less a subathon.
Oh shoot!
So they were just like, oh no, keep going. I was like, no, I can't. But then tomorrow now, when it's for charity, I'm gonna have to. Like, I'm just gonna be zoned in and bada bing, bada boom, bada bow. And then I don't know, I might like take a nap and then go back streaming again later on. I'm not too sure. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
There's gonna be 24 hours of Tarkov as well.
I think so. I DM'd Nikita and I said, for the love of Christ, will you please do wipe tomorrow? So I was left in red, by the way. But I don't know. You know, in fairness, though, I'm kind of there. Like I'm hoping that it's going to be tomorrow, because BSG have been like liking the tweets, and I don't know. A lot of people are coming into the streams, right, and they're just saying, they're like, give me all these tinfoil hat theories that, oh no, Nikita said this tweet at this time, and there's like 4 words in this tweet, and then there's 6 in that tweet. So if you add them up, it's going to be Friday. So it's I don't know. I'm kind of manifesting now that it'll be happening tomorrow. But
I was really hoping it would have been yesterday for like 13.
13, yeah.
I mean, I don't feel like we've had like any crazy pre-wipe stuff yet, so it's unlikely. But
yeah, I'm still thinking next
felt
week.
like today was
22nd.
But then again, Thursday's the second. That's the biggest meme ever, isn't it? So, but
yeah. Was there a pre-wipe event before Christmas last?
Yes.
Yeah,
they've never done just a straight, drop it on us yet. This could be the first time, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
I feel like we've definitely had one wipe where the game just went down and they were like, here's the patch notes. This happened. I swear it's happened once, and it was relatively recently. It must have been within the last 3, maybe. I swear, maybe I'm tripping. It could have been like 7 ago, because like what's time? Like since the start of 2020, like time's just like compressed, isn't it?
That'd be mad, wouldn't it, though? If you just play the game, the next one just goes down, like, Christ, what's going on?
Yeah. I swear it's happened like one time, and we were all just like, oh, okay. And then now it might have been I think it was a Christmas, actually. I think it was a Christmas, and we literally just woke up on Christmas, and it was like, 10 a.m. Maintenance, and it was like, here's the patch notes. There will be a wipe, and it was like, oh, okay. I was like at I was at Alison's parents at the time, so I was just sitting there, like doing all the family stuff, being happy, but in the back of my mind, I was like, I wish I was fucking at home, man. I wish I was. Getting that. I'm like that bloody thing, honestly. Pocket watch, bro.
Yep. And the Salawas or Saluias or whatever everyone calls them.
Saluia.
Yeah. So now that you can craft them in your hideout, I guess that's different.
Yeah, I think it was last year, just after the last wipe, that I didn't do a 24-hour stream. I've only ever done an 18-hour, but it was when we had the Twitch drops just after last year's wipes and stuff, because I was still working, and my day was on Thursday, and they start the day at 10 a.m. And so I didn't tell anybody at work, and I took the day off on Thursday, and I did an 18-hour stream. I did from 10 a.m. and I went till 2 a.m. and I went to sleep for 5 hours, and then I went to work on Friday.
That's dedication, mate.
So I can't do 24 hours because I'll have I would have had to be at work like an hour before it finishes. I was like, it just doesn't make sense. So I was like, I need to get some sleep.
It would be like 36 hours awake or.
I was just like, it doesn't work. But that was pretty nuts. So I've never done the full 24. I'm quite excited to do a 24 at some point. I haven't really got a good idea for when to do it, but
well, John and his raves, I'm sure he probably can go 24, 36 hours in one stint.
We should all do a 24-hour tomorrow and do it for the Make-A-Wish charity. We should. Why not? Let's do it.
Who's watching my kids?
Play Tarkov for 24 hours straight. I would love to. But
well, I mean, I have a link. I have a donation link, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give it to as many streamers as possible for tomorrow. So if there's anyone streaming, just to have the link open and just throw in as I don't know, just be like, guys, throw in €1 there or something. You know, I'm trying to get as many streamers as possible to do it tomorrow, and see how much we can raise in 24 hours.
Cool.
Yeah, send it over me. I mean,
Yeah,
what day
pop it
is it
in the
today?
chat, whatever.
Definitely. I'll throw it up on the old Twitter later on. Whenever I think
Is it
I
Wednesday?
can't. I think I can't put it up until midnight. I think because I think it like marks. I think it's open Thursday, but I'm not too sure what time, like different time zones and stuff. So when I see, I'll probably put it up in the morning as well.
I'm not streaming tomorrow, but if you tweet it out, I can
There
do
she
a
is.
retweet.
Oh yeah, definitely. Cool Bula, John. Cool Bula.
Now,
I'm
have
putting
you?
you all on the spot, and I love it.
Now, have you guys met Ariana?
No.
No.
Oh yeah.
Well, she is a lover of broken games like we are. She's a DayZ content creator. She's been doing it for years. Yes.
Love me some
Oh,
DayZ.
cool. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, wrong button. That helps if I press the right one, doesn't it? How you all doing?
Good.
Yeah,
We're doing good. Yeah, when Gibbons was on the pod, I found out he was an RP DayZ person.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. About 4,000 hours just on RP alone.
Wow.
I'm an absolute nerd when it comes to that stuff.
That's cool, man.
But I couldn't do it now because I feel like if I was to do it, it'd be too cringe. I wouldn't want my future kids to be looking at me and be like, "What the fuck is my father at?" You know. But yeah.
Well,
DayZ is such a cool game.
Mm,
Such a
True.
cool game, DayZ.
It's a
I
great
only ever
game, yeah.
played. Oh, I only ever played the Armor 2 mod, the original one.
That's
the
great.
one right at the beginning. And I tried to get like a bunch of friends. I was like, right, we're gonna play like the actual DayZ again. It's like it's years later. The game's got to be like brilliant now. And we all bought it and we loaded into like vanilla servers or whatever. And I was just like, apparently we've got to find some rocks and some train tracks stuff. We basically just like ran around finding rocks for like 5 hours and couldn't find. And I was like, okay, apparently this isn't the way you're supposed to play. You're supposed to play like modded servers and stuff. And that's like all the community is. But we just like went in completely blind after like 10 years of like not touching it or something. Oh,
Yeah,
man. But
that's
I'd
the
love to
best
get
way.
back into it. I really would. I'd love to get back into DayZ.
Do it's in a really great place right now. You should do it.
yeah,
I've never actually played, so
Oh no.
What?
You
Wow.
love it, Dan. You
never
love it.
played it. I literally
Sounds-
bought a PC and then got Tarkov. The reason why I got PC in the first place was to play Tarkov back in 2017, and then. Well, you know what happens when you get sucked in by Tarkov. Like every other game, just like isn't worth playing, right?
That's DayZ for me, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
At least
So I
it
just
was
kind of
different.
missed out.
Dan, I think the bits that you like about Tarkov, I think would transition really well into DayZ for you, because like you really like the sort of slow tactical, like long build up stuff, right? It's like
true.
the shift W key gameplay isn't really your deal, right? And like DayZ didn't really have like, well, from what I know of it back in the day, it always reminded me of like The Walking Dead, right? You get like this
Exactly.
long period between
that's
the
it.
things happening that it's like there's so much dead time, you get lulled into false sense of security, and you're just having a chat with 3 mates, then someone just gets sniped out of literally nowhere, and then it's like
That's about every day of my life. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
You said like 2 key words there, like Walking Dead and DayZ is just that's what it is. I'll never forget the time there was a modded server because that was the reason why DayZ was the reason why I built my first PC was because of Jack Frags and Frankie and PC, and
Old school,
they
dude.
totally old school. But that I started in 2013, I think it was.
That's when I started playing DayZ. Back in
Yeah,
2013,
It was 2013, and it was there was a server that we used to play on, and it was heavily like Walking Dead inspired, and it was like if you saved a lot of people, you were given like the Rick Grimes shirt and the jeans, and if you killed someone, you'd look like the governor, the guy with the patch and the eye patch and the whole lot. It was so cool, and that's what got me hooked. And then I got into RP, and I would take weeks and months off of college, and then it was
But hang on, though, you left out a key piece of this whole DayZ story, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. No,
bought-
listen, I could talk for days, Barry, when it comes to DayZ. I only give you like the little schnips. There's a lot more to come. But no, I mean DayZ is a fantastic game. I'd say it'd be up there as like one of my favorite, if not favorite PC game. Like Tarkov is amazing, but I've only started playing Tarkov in the last year. But I think with games now, like such as DayZ, I started playing it when I was 17, 18. And that was like a key part in my life when like growing up, blah, blah, blah. Right now it is But I'd say maybe in 10 years' time, like when I'm 38, when I look back, I'm like, Jesus, remember when I was playing Tarkov? But like, right now, that's what I have when it comes to DayZ, and I feel like all of us are like that too when it comes to a game that we played 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we're just living the whole. See, this is me spieling off. I'm sorry. I just talk. I talk and talk and talk. I'm sorry. I've been streaming for 9 hours today. I don't know how I have the energy to keep going. Do you know what I mean?
You're in your second wind right now. Like you're just like getting into it.
Oh, I'm sorry. So,
That's all right.
But it's funny. It's funny you should mention like looking back at DayZ 10 years ago, and like it's still going now, right? And I put out a tweet. I can't remember, a couple of days ago, regarding official mod support for Tarkov and how wouldn't it be cool? Because I've been playing a lot of Stalker lately, and it's kind of opened my mind to a lot of things. And I was just thinking like, how cool would it be if in 10 years' time we had all these games, like sub games, if you like, on the Tarkov engine, if you like. I know it's obviously Unity and everything else, but I'm just sort of drawing a parallel there because you said about DayZ 10 years ago. I just, in my mind, it's really funny that you should say that because, thinking about mod support for Tarkov and imagining Tarkov in 10 years, like where is Tarkov going to be in 10 years? Is it going to be, are people still going to be playing it? Are the servers going to still be up? Are we going to have like a situation like, for example, some games where the only way you can play is by playing rented servers like Battlefield 4 and stuff like that. And it's just a really interesting concept. So.
If they give mods, that would be great. That'd be amazing. Yeah. It'd be incredible.
I feel like DayZ is in a resurgence again, and actually Ariana's done a couple of events called the Queens of the Castle, where it's in. You tell the story.
No, put me on the spot.
Go on.
So it's like 40 women head to a castle and try and hold it and like kick ass basically. So I did 2 women's ones, and then I recently did the Kings of the Castle, which is like the male equivalent. I don't know, like Running Man, Sour Sweet. I don't know if you know any of these people.
Oh, Sour Sweet, yeah, Sour Sweet's great.
And those kind of guys, they all took part. Sour Sweet won the first day, and the Running Man's team won the second day. It was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm new to event planning, so I'm a bit of a noob. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, we got to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And John B below you there, he is a master DJ, traveled the world.
And I've never played DayZ. I haven't got a clue. And I love zombies. But like I've barely got enough time in my life to. I haven't got enough time to play Tarkov as much as I want to. So any other game would take away from that. So I'm just sticking on there. But DayZ looks fun. I don't like the way the people move when you run along. The sound they make when they step, and sort of the way it doesn't wobble in. I don't know. There's some.
It's a very specific criticism.
Yeah,
it's oddly specific.
It's a red line for me. I'm sorry. I just don't like it.
Let's talk about inertia.
Yeah, let's not.
Here we go.
It doesn't matter if you just creep around slowly like me. I haven't noticed any changes. I don't try and jump on anything. I just sort of walk about, have a look around.
It's funny you should mention that because my caps lock key actually broke. It's actually full on came off. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Maybe not, but there you go. So my caps lock key actually broke. Mostly because it's my VoIP key in a couple of games I've been playing lately. But historically, Tarkov, caps key is your walk key, or at least it is on mine. I don't know if it's I can't remember the standard keybinds anymore. It's been that long. But yeah, smashed my caps key to bit. My shift key is pretty much untouched, and I'm sure you can imagine. But yeah, caps key absolutely wrecked. So
elite covert movement gaming,
Well, that's it. I mean, I've got an elite covert, probably like 3, 4, 5 wipes in a row now. And just recently we've been doing elite covert, elite strength, and elite endurance, like over the last couple of wipes. And someone will come in chat and be like, "Oh, let's have a look at your skills." Like someone might be new, and I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Here's my skills." And then they're just so confused. Like you can almost see their brain working. You can almost see the gears turning in their mind. Like, how's this guy got elite covert movement and elite endurance? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, they can't process that you can play different ways. Like, I know we spoke about earlier, we had a bit of a laugh. Like I am a more tactical player. Like I think ahead and I think about what my opponent's going to be doing, like what he had for lunch and that sort of thing. And all jokes aside, like I do enjoy running around. I do enjoy being a bit more aggressive and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the beauty of Tarkov, and we'll probably see this with Arena as well. Like, there's so many ways you can play. There's not a wrong way to play apart from extract camping. That's obviously the wrong way, especially in D2 when I've done loads of tasks. But yeah, man, I can't remember what the original point was. I'll be honest. But yeah, there you go. Caps lock.
Yes, caps lock. So now, where is everybody from? We know Mr. Gibbons he's in Ireland, and everybody else is the UK. But like, what areas?
LA.
Perfect timing.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, Claymore.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello.
I'm not. I've got the man flu, so my voice might be a bit rough at the time.
I like it.
Everyone's getting sick with the flu. I was out for a week and a half because I got it there last week or the week before.
It's been floating around here in York too, but I was doing a good job catching it. But I work part time in a pub, and it was only a matter of time, I guess.
Surrounded by people, yeah.
Yeah, fucking old farts. Like petri dishes. Jesus.
So now you said you're in York.
Yeah. I live in York, mate. Yeah.
I was just asking everybody sort of what area they're all from. There you are.
Yeah, no.
Watch your video. There he is. He's back.
There we go.
What's happening?
Yeah. No, I live in York, and it's we're just mostly getting frost over here right now. So everyone's picking all the shit up, and not very good.
I saw a hilarious video. I don't know who reposted it or something, but it was somebody made a video that was like the Kardashians visiting York, and they'd kind of, instead of going to all the glamorous places in LA, it'd all been edited quite nicely, and they went to like Jorvik and the Revolution Bar and Yates's Wine Bar, and but they dubbed their voices over with a sort of Yorkshire accent, and it amused me. A lot of things don't amuse me, especially Kardashian related things. But
I think that exaggerated Yorkshire accents are probably one of the funnier exaggerated accents.
Yeah.
If you having a nice day, very, very good.
It's like your own language up there, mate. North of the wall, man. Wildlings.
That's what I was thinking straight away.
I can't say anything, man, because I'm from the Midlands, right? I'm in the West Midlands, which is basically like Coventry, Birmingham, Rugby, Leamington sort of area. And like, because I'm right smack bang in the middle of England, I get shit from the north and the south. So like,
Same.
Yeah, exactly.
Being a Midlander. Yeah.
Exactly, it's a nightmare. Like everyone down south calls us northern, everyone up north calls us southern, and we don't really get on with each other that well anyway. So we're just kind of stuck in the middle, really.
I kind of test, fellow Midlander here.
I feel that, man, with my soul.
Are you all Gigabeef? Are you a Midlander as well?
Yes.
Oh wow. I'm the southern one then, right? I'm Maidenhead.
Quite south,
Yeah, I'm Maidenhead. It's kind of near Heathrow, near Windsor, where Windsor Castle is. I know you're a fan, Mr. Gibbon, of the
Let's not go into that.
I can drop a letter off for you if you like, with your disapproval. I met an Irish guy. I can't remember his name now. I was scavving on Interchange, and he was a scav as well, and he shot me. And he kept asking me about where I was from, and I was like, "Oh no, he's gonna shoot me the second." It wasn't you, but
it's so funny, you see, right? Because everyone just they feel like they automatically assume that I hate like bumping into the British in the game, and that's not it at all. I hate when people think that Ireland and England are the same. That's what I hate.
Yeah.
And that's where it kind of started, because anytime I'd be asking someone, it's like, "Oh, where are you from?" Because it's like a nice conversation to start. It's kind of like you just throw it in. "Oh, where are you from? What's your name?" Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, "Oh, I'm from New York or whatnot." And they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Ireland." It's like, "Oh, that's in England, isn't it?" I'm like, "What?
Oh,
What?"
That's
And so
England.
I am just like, "Oh, Jesus Christ Almighty!"
Nah,
So
I bet that
it
gets
just
annoying.
went from there, and I made a TikTok, and it blew up, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is brilliant!" And I just went from there. But it automatically just assumed that I hated the British, and I'm just like, no, not at all. That's not at all. I hate people who say. I hate people who even think that Ireland is in America. And there's been so many times where people said to me that they think that it's in upstate New York.
what?
It's crazy. It's because like New Jersey and the Bronx and the whole lot. It's the whole Irish orientation over there, the same as Newfoundland as well.
Yeah.
So they automatically assume that, oh no, like Ireland is like East America or like Northeast or something like that, or it's up in Canada or something. It just baffles me.
Well, I
couldn't
could
get over it at all.
understand if you're over here in the States and somebody thinks you're from Newfoundland. I can totally get that, but for somebody to think that you're from New York, upstate, or I think Ireland's and that one's just so confusing.
Oh, it's insane, and I get it all the time from Scotland, and I'm like, there's a huge difference between Scotland.
Oh my
and
God,
Ireland.
yes.
It's huge. Now,
I hear
fair
that a
enough.
lot
If
as
it was,
well,
yeah. If it's the north of Ireland, well then fair enough. Because it's very, very prominent up there with the accent, but I don't think I have a British accent at all, do you?
No.
Absolutely not.
I don't think so. So I'm just like, what? But yeah, no, that's
No.
wherever that was going. There's my
Oh.
I
So
always think
Ariana, are
of,
you? Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, no worries. I was looping back to the early reference. I always think that Midland is kind of like the Lannisters of Game of Thrones. Like nobody really likes them, but we
true.
need them. Like
Where are you going with this?
exactly where you think I'm going with it. Dan. Exactly where you think.
You saying that we're all like incestual and all that, or what?
I was going to say posh or something, but okay.
No,
Yeah, that was a different
No,
angle, to be
no,
fair.
No spoilers.
No, sorry, Dan. That's the far south, mate. Far south. Don't worry.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
That's John B's territory.
Yeah, okay. That's something we can agree on.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Well, I'm not saying that there aren't people that partake in the Midlands, but I just don't think that I wouldn't describe like that being a sort of not national pastime, but what I mean, like a regional pastime.
Isn't it like sort of Cornwally, Somersetty, southwest?
Oh yeah.
That's
Look at John like deflecting. It's not my side.
Not Berkshire. Well, I mean, Royal Berkshire, there might be a bit of it. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't noticed any of it going on out around here, but
Well, moving on from topic.
Yeah, please.
Quickly moving on.
That took a bit of a turn, didn't it?
DayZ, so it's a great game.
Yeah. How about them DayZ servers?
Oh.
How about that?
But yeah, do you guys think that there'll ever be mods at all for Tarkov?
I think so.
What? Are we talking official or?
I think maybe just a mix between. Like, I have a theory, okay? When I have a feeling after Streets they're just going to stop with Tarkov. I really think it's just going to there's going to be like no more wipes. That's it. I feel like they're going to stop Tarkov and then they're going to do their main game that they're doing.
Russia 2028. Yeah.
2028. I feel like that'll be the next big thing to look forward to. And then when that's in development, they're just going to be like, look, we're just going to have the rest of the world deal with Tarkov and let them do whatever they want. Just as long as they just don't break the games. And it'll be heavily monitored and everything like that, like DayZ is in a way. I have a feeling that's what's going to happen after this year.
Yeah, I think the modding potential for Tarkov is insane. I mean, you only have to look at armor and the modding potential for that or squad.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can get some going back to DayZ, like some of the mods you can get are crazy, like absolutely completely change it. The Stalker mod for DayZ is fantastic.
Oh, I was hooked on that for ages.
Yeah. So I think that Tarkov will definitely get the same treatment. I always thought about it, like imagine, there's a lot of potential with it. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see there being crossovers with some big franchises too, like I don't know, like a Star Wars mod for it or something.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
sick. I mean,
yeah.
you know, I was, you know, we mentioned my tweet from the. I'm not trying to promote my tweet or anything like that, but
Do it, Dan,
it's
do
just
it,
it's
do
just
it.
so
But
funny that we've spoken about this because like it seems to be like, and you know, you guys know that I've been playing a lot of Stalker lately, like Gamma, and you know that, which is a mod pack for Anomaly, which is a mod for the original games. And you know, modding is like the longevity, the amount of time that a game will like, you know, be alive, sort of thing, is massively dependent on the community being able to like tailor certain things to their taste. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I think it would be such a shame if Tarkov didn't go down the route of, and I really want it to be official. I'd really want it to be official. You know, BSG saying, you know, like here's the 1.0 experience, here's story mode, here's arena, here's your free roam. You know, give that like, I don't know, however long, like imagine a year or 2 years or whatever. You know, however much time BSG want to give it for people to experience vanilla Tarkov, and then they go, right, you know, we're starting heavy work on 2028 now. We're going to be maintaining arena as a service, you know, game as a service sort of thing. And here's like a development kit. Like here's your mod support. You know how it works with Bethesda games, you know, like Fallout and Elder Scrolls and stuff like that. Like it would be so good, and it would be such a positive. I think it would be such a positive reception from the player base if we do, you know, get that kind of functionality and it's like endorsed by BSG. I just think it would be incredible, personally.
Agreed.
I would love to see what other people could come up with, because I know, because BSG being a limited company in Russia and stuff, I don't think they can like take on anyone else outside of Russia with everything going on. So like if they just give mod control to the whole world and just let people from all over the world come up with like wacky ideas, like Dean Hall, a small I think he was in the Marines in New Zealand, who came up with DayZ. Just a random fella. And then boom, it became one of the biggest games of all time. I feel like it's just one person that takes over a game. The next thing, it could just make it into something that's already
I mean, look at 5M, look at GTA RP and stuff like that. Like, you know, I'm not going to pretend to know the numbers, but you know, I know that 5M GTA RP modded servers is an absolutely huge, at least on Twitch. You know, I'd probably argue that there's more people watching 5M GTA 5 than there are people watching.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
Well, I didn't even know RP existed for DayZ until I talked to you, Gibbons. I had no clue, you know. And...
Really? It's not very big anymore, that's why.
Okay.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's kind of died off. There's like maybe 1 or 2 RP servers nowadays.
Yeah.
And it's not very big, unfortunately.
We just need one big streamer or YouTuber just to come out and just be like, it's back! And then boom.
Yeah, exactly. Off you go then. Come on. Do your job.
Do your job. Oh, shoot.
No, I think RP now is just... I don't know. It was amazing when it first kicked off with like Frankie and all them. And then because like that was 10 years ago. That's when it was something where it was no one else was doing it, and then there were so many other like Rust does RP, Grand Theft Auto does RP, Arma does RP, DayZ does RP. Jesus, I nearly do RP in Tarkov the odd time, do you know, if I want. But I don't know if there'd be like a main game for RP now, but maybe with Tarkov mods. I would love a Tarkov mod that's set in America. I'd love that. I'm so sick of that, like that niche Eastern European post-apocalyptic vibe. We have it with Stalkers, we have it with DayZ, we have it with Tarkov.
Yeah.
I mean, the only game that we don't have it with is Fallout, but that's like set in the 50s or the futuristic 50s or something like that. If they gave us like a modern take of either it being in Canada or America or fucking England even, oh, that'd be so cool. It would be so different, so unique. But yeah.
The closest I feel like I've come to that, and I think I really do dig this, is certain areas in Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
obviously, like you've got the main city part, and that's all very flashy and shiny. But then you start going to the outskirts, like the northern parts and stuff. You start seeing all the abandoned town, the deserts, and everything like that. And that gives you the same vibe for it. I'd love to see I'd like to see something like that set in far more modern times, because I do think that sometimes devs, they want to make these settings that are close to modern or post-modern, whatever. They want to try and make it as interesting as possible. So they'll throw in I don't know, like an enemy, or they'll throw in like aliens or like whatever.
Yeah.
You know? I wouldn't say that's playing it safe, but yeah, like you said, I would like to see something that's more deep-seated in modern times, and seeing how people kind of like survive through it and band up or whatever, you know, like that. Agreed.
Like, have you heard of the game? What's it called? Is it The Day Before?
That's coming out next year, I think.
Yeah, I've seen a trailer for it. It's
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Isn't it supposed to be a huge scam or something? I read some article
See,
about some guy
everyone is
ripping it
saying
apart
that.
or something.
Yeah.
Vaporware, man. Like,
Yeah.
does that thing exist? Like, is it real?
Yeah,
You know?
the marketing for it was so dodgy. So
Yeah.
people
It was.
Yeah.
they didn't know what to think. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean,
But
as far
it's-
as I'm aware, it's still being developed, right?
It
I don't
is,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
something like that attached to it.
it was what was it? It was on Unreal Engine 4, and they were going to release it like, I think it was September or October, like it was set in stone. But then Unreal Engine 5 released the everything, and they're like, right, we can actually scrap the idea, get it all done, because we have all the components. We can just throw them into Unreal Engine 5 and restart it again and get it ready for I think it's coming out in March. I tell you what, if they get it the way it should be, like if they have it linked towards the way Tarkov was going, like with Tarkov, with it going like you have Lighthouse, and then when you go to Lighthouse, that's going to be a safe haven.
Yeah.
And with what is it, Russia 2028, that's supposed to be open world, isn't it? And then
It's supposed to be a single player RPG, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I don't know how the world's going to work, but
Yeah, but if they did that with this game, where it's like it's an MMO RPG and you just have safe havens and you go out, like it's like The Division, but
Yeah.
it's more intricate, like DayZ. Oh, I tell you what, that's where I'm going to be for the next fucking year, anyways. I tell you, I saw the trailer, I saw the graphics, I saw that it was like heavily fucking cinematized or whatever you want to call the word. I was just like, I'm all over this. This looks great. It looks amazing. But yeah, like you said, it does look really shady. But I watched a
YouTube video about the past history of the developers, and it didn't
Yeah.
look good. Like I was
It
like,
didn't look
Jesus
good.
Christ, no, it didn't look good. So we'll see,
They-
but it has hope if it comes out
It
the way it's
does,
supposed
yeah.
to. So.
for sure.
so good though. I mean, I love State of Decay as well, but I feel like the reason why I love that game is because it just reminds you of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It just has that eerie kind of American post-apocalyptic zombie vibe, and that's what I'm kind of hoping with this one. But it's like, it's like I Am Legend, Will Smith's I Am Legend. That's the thing. What I do, I don't know if you do that as well. Do you link all the games you play with a series or a movie that you like?
Not always, but like sometimes if it's
No.
relevant. That's like
I do
that's
that
why
all the
DayZ
time.
just has the Walking Dead feel for me so
Yeah.
much. But it's the one that
Like
stands out.
Yeah.
Like Skyrim has, I think, a mixture of Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Like all of that, I don't know. I'm just a mad movie and TV nerd when it comes to all this stuff. So whenever I watch a series, like I'm in the middle of watching The Walking Dead, I just want to play State of Decay. But I'm just waiting for State of Decay 3 because I've done 1 and 2 like a dozen times.
I mean,
But
that's
it's-
basically what happened with Edge Runners and Cyberpunk. Like, the
There
player
you go.
base for the game was okay. I mean, it was improving, but no one was really there to appreciate it. Edge Runners came out, and
Yeah.
suddenly everybody came back, and the people who did play the game, like I started playing the game at launch, I was like, holy fuck, this game is like
Yeah.
great now. Like,
Would
Same
you
thing
would you
happened with that.
recommend going back for another go? Because I did finish Cyberpunk when it first released, like when it first released, the first week or whatever. I just smashed it out. Like, would you say that it'd be worth starting again and going through it?
I mean, the game is way more runnable now, way more polished. The bugs that I ran into are like if you know what I mean, like, you play like a Bethesda game, like an Elder Scrolls game, and that there were bugs here and there, but they weren't too crazy. Sometimes you need to reload a save, for example, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
Nothing too game breaking like that.
Yeah.
A lot of the cutscenes and stuff have been really polished. Like a lot of the main cutscenes you go into and stuff like that, like it feels like one smooth take, and it's really, really well done. The voice acting is phenomenal. I would really encourage you as well, if you didn't do this before, to really do side quests and stuff. Like some of the sub stories and sub themes, like are amazing, especially with Johnny Silverhand. When you essentially you start to become a bit more buddied up with him. No spoilers, obviously, but
yeah.
His side quest, his storyline, where you essentially meet a certain requirement from unlock an ending. His side quest storyline is like, in my opinion, I enjoyed it way more than the main story. Like, so I would definitely suggest going back to it. If you got it in Steam, like if you've already bought it, reinstall it, give it another go.
Yeah. Like I completed it, mate. I finished it back when it first released. I never had that much technical issues with it at all. Like I didn't really have many bugs. I guess I was really, really lucky. I was running on a decent PC, and yeah, it ran really nicely. And I'm seeing a lot of people saying like it's a lot better now, and it's a lot more enjoyable and stuff like that. And I just, I want to check it out again. I was just kind of like trying to put the feelers out, because I don't know if the people saying that it's actually enjoyable now are the ones that had the major issues in the first place, like where things just, the game just wouldn't render. Do you know what I mean? Like I remember like screenshots, people playing it on PS4, and like they're in the car and everything was just like 2D, man. It just looked like it was on a GameCube. Do you know what I mean? No offense to Nintendo, but
well, actually, Dan,
I know with machine.
On your suggestion, I just bought Metal Gear Solid for my PlayStation 3.
Which what the original Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'm gonna give it a shot. I've never played it.
Sorry,
I've never played him.
Admittedly, I've only played the first two, but I did watch basically like YouTube videos on the other ones, and I wish I didn't watch them because I wish I would have played them instead. But,
I can't believe you've done this.
I think
people.
It was. I think Splinter Cell is where I kind of got into that kind of Metal Gear kind of gameplay type game. I was more into like Resident Evil and Dino Crisis on the PlayStation when that came out.
Dino Crisis.
Yeah.
That brings back memories.
Yeah. Like they were. Resident Evil 1 was my first PlayStation game, and then Dino Crisis was after that. And I just fell in love with Dino Crisis straight away because I'm a huge fucking Jurassic Park fan, as you can see. Huge. So I'll never forget that. But I got Metal Gear off my father's friend one Christmas for the PlayStation. I think it was like the first one. And I just didn't have an interest because I was too zoned into Dino Crisis. So I don't know. It's like anytime I was like offered to play Metal Gear, I was brought back to Dino Crisis or Resident Evil. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna play them.
That's fair. That's fair. I think, I think we're probably around the same sort of age. Like when I first sort of played on a PlayStation, for me it was Final Fantasy VII. And we had the demo. We had the Metal Gear Solid demo on. You remember when you used to get demo discs on magazines?
Yeah.
The good old days, man.
The good old
I
days.
miss those days.
There's gonna be people. Gonna be people not understanding what we're on about.
Like game code CDs and stuff. For like
amazing.
Old school.
And that's how you get your driver updates and things like that on them. And
yes, yeah. Dude, those magazines were so expensive back then. Like back then, they were like a $5, and a $5 back then was like the equivalent of like I don't know, 15, 20 quid now.
Yeah, to be fair, there's a lot of money. Like my dad, like honestly, I used to hassle him all the time. You'd be like, Dad, I was like 9 years old or whatever. Dad, can I have a PlayStation magazine? And like, obviously, when I was 9 years old, I had no idea what money was. I was just like, I just want this PlayStation magazine, and he was always like, ooh, like I don't know. But I was really lucky, and
that was me and my parents with any cards, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, anything. I was like one of the original like Pokemon like unboxers, you know what I mean? Like
I love Yu-Gi-Oh so much.
I had a plastic, like one of those old
Here you go.
Good man. Look at that.
Back from, I think it was like 96.
Wow, that's legit.
And then Resident Evil 2 as well. I haven't touched them since.
That's so cool.
So they're staying there.
collector's items now, aren't they?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I looked up on eBay. I think they're going for like €100 or something. It's mad.
Jeez.
It's crazy for
Give
that
it 10
time.
years, it'll be one more.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wish I kept all my stuff, man. When you're sort of growing up and that, like, I think I just gave it to I must have given it away. Like, I always like give my consoles to my friends or my brother or whatever, when I was growing up. I fucking regret it now, because imagine how much that's going to be worth now. Like, the original 60 gigabyte PS3 with the chrome trim, like, that they sold like 5,000 of or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, it had like USB ports and stuff on it, and SD ports that you don't see anymore. So
I had like, going back to Yu-Gi-Oh, I had a first edition Dark Magician card from the 2001 pack.
No way.
And I was actually scammed out of it when I was I think it was like 2000. It was 2001. Yeah, I was scammed out of it by my neighbors. They went to Spain, and they came back with all these like fancy packs. And like, knowing me, I don't know how old I was. I was born in '94. I would say 5 or 6, whatever. But yeah, they were like, "Oh no, we'll trade you, Ed, with these new packs. We got them in Spain. They're not released in Ireland yet, but they're coming out next month." So it's like, "Oh yeah, cool." It's like, "Yeah, we'll trade your Dark Magician for them." And I traded like a full pack of the Spanish cards for my Dark Magician, and then I brought them to my mother, and they were all fake. She was like, "Ed, these are fake. What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I just traded my Dark Magician and Blue Eyes White Dragon for these." She's like, "What? It cost you a fortune, you gowl." So we went back, and they denied it completely. They denied that I traded them and everything. It was so dramatic.
Jesus.
But I'll never forget, because whenever we got like a golden, at the very at the corner, it give you like the golden little symbol of a Yu-Gi-Oh card, and then above the picture it said first edition.
Yes.
Like my father's friend was a crazy collector, and he saw them and he goes, "Oh, it's a first edition, Ed. It's going to be worth millions when you're older and stuff. Keep it." So I like kept it in like a little pouch, but I don't know what fucking made me trade them for shady Spanish cards. I don't know. It was just, I was young. I thought it was just like that.
Young and
No, it was-
influential.
Yeah, that's it.
Exactly. That's just called being a kid, mate. Like, we've all done dumb stuff as kids. Like,
But
and
now
shame,
I'm just
shame
like,
on your neighbours for taking advantage of that as well.
Oh yeah, it was horrible stuff.
Listen, I'm all about respecting the hustle, but don't hustle kids, please.
Yeah.
I know.
Exactly.
It was so bad.
Right, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you, friends. I've got the call, got the little
All right.
ones. I have to go and help out.
Well,
So
thanks for stopping
no
by.
worries,
Giga.
mate.
it's been
Take care.
fun.
No bother.
Have a good one. See you
Take
later.
care.
Bye.
But yeah, Gibbon. So you mentioned you're a big fan of Jurassic Park, dinos, etc. Are you more of a fan of just like the dinos being in the media, or are you like the horror element as well?
I think it's just Jurassic Park, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's I mean, you could throw on like National Geographic about dinosaurs and I wouldn't care. But if it has that shiny red logo with the Jurassic Park going through the middle, I'm all over that. There was it was the first kind of like live action film that I ever watched as a kid.
Right.
Because that came out in '93, and in Ireland it came out in VHS in '96, I think it was. So I was like 2 or 3 or whatever, and my mother has a picture of me like in front of the TV with my legs folded eating a packet of crisps. So anytime I look back and look at that picture, it's like that's the first time I watched the movie, because I was always like watching those cartoon like Rugrats and stuff. And then I think it was like 98 or 99 when The Lost World came out, and that was the first movie I saw with my parents as friends in the cinema, in the theaters. And after that, in 2000, we went to Universal Studios, and my parents surprised me because they took my sister to Disneyland. They took me to Universal Studios so I can go on the Jurassic Park ride. But when we got there, I was like a couple of centimeters too short, and they wouldn't allow me on the ride. So it was a horrible experience in that sense. But I was so spoiled then. They were like, don't worry about the ride. We're going to buy you all the presents you want from Jurassic Park store. So I went to the Jurassic Park store and I got like a poncho. I got like loads of Matchbox cars that had like the logos of Jurassic Park in them. I still have them at my father's house. But only this year when I went to San Diego, for TwitchCon, we went back to Universal Studios and the ride was still there. So I got a picture of. I'll show it to you real quick because now we're talking about it. I got a picture of me beside the sign.
Measuring like
The measuring sign.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah.
So I'm there, like I'm
Just
flipping the.
eating it, mate. Just eating
I'm
it.
just eating it.
Just about.
So it was an emotional experience at the time, but I feel like Jurassic Park has that over me when it comes to with all these memories, you know. And
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
Star
That's
Wars
why
is
I
for
love
me.
yeah, Star Wars
You
too.
know?
Yeah, I love Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my
Ariana, how
childhood
about
was
you?
basically that.
You've been all this geek talk about the old school games. When was your first steps into video games?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like my first games were like Tomb Raider, obviously.
Oh
'cause,
yeah.
Nice.
Like early Lara
Ah,
Croft and
Tomb
stuff was,
Raider.
you
Yeah.
know, for me as a little young girl, was just
Yeah.
like, wow, this is amazing. And then like stupid shit like Simpsons Hit and Run and like, you know, they're just like really stupid games like that. And what else? Like, you know, I used to play FIFA back in the day as well when I was a kid with my brothers, and you know, just really silly games.
Hit and Run though.
Hit
Yeah,
and Run,
Hit and
that
Run
was,
was
that was a
right.
great game. Yeah.
It's a bloody remaster.
I
eh?
was going to say we need a remake of that. Man.
I
We need a remake
know.
of that. Oh,
Oh,
man.
that's a childhood game right there. By God.
I wonder if it
Like-
would survive in today's climate.
Oh, I
Just-
would.
just-
100%.
Yeah, you reckon? Yeah.
Yeah, it would. They
I think
definitely
Simpsons
would. If
get away with it. I suppose,
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm sure even if it didn't, they still make money off it. Like
True,
it's not going to hurt them. It won't. It's fucking. Who owns it now? Is it Disney? I think it's Disney that
I
owns
have no
Simpsons.
idea.
So
Yeah, if it's
Really?
Disney that owns Simpsons, it doesn't matter. They can lose a couple of billion. They're still laughing. You know.
Oh.
Bloody hell.
Hmm.
So now we know Dan's not a fan of the Christmas celebration. So how about everybody else? Everybody else, what's Christmas movies for everybody? What's favorite Christmas movies?
Die Hard.
Die Hard, yes. Die Hard.
Avatar.
awesome. Wait, Avatar's not a Christmas
Yeah.
movie.
you know,
I can get into another story with you, but I
think,
won't.
I think you know, but I think Eva's got a point there. The first Avatar movie did come out in December.
Yeah.
Just make it technically a Christmas movie.
It was-
America's not.
No, you can't say it's a
Technically.
movie's a Christmas movie if it comes out
It's
at
like,
Christmas.
it's like saying Harry Potter isn't is it like Harry Potter isn't a Christmas movie, but it technically is.
I agree.
The same as like the Lord of the Rings. A lot of people watch Lord of the Rings around Christmas. I don't know why you're laughing. It's the truth.
But
Honest to God.
you do got a weird point there. Yes, you know, Christmas time,
Yeah.
everybody else throw the trilogy
I
on.
don't watch Lord of the Rings at Christmas. Who the fuck does
Ah.
that?
Sit
The
down
one
and
I
watch
watched,
the entire trilogy. Just with the
tell you,
Yeah,
it's
like
worth it.
other times of the year, but it's not like I'm still like Christmas. Oh yeah, let's watch the Lord of the Rings.
It's like the whole
Yeah.
day sorted, though, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
of
you
course.
sorted.
you stick on the trilogy, you're not going anywhere for.
No,
I
the
don't
next
know
12
if they have
hours.
this in the UK, but in Ireland we have it's like the 3 days of Christmas. So it's like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and like St. Stephen's Day. It's Boxing Day for you. We
Yeah.
have on our TV. I think it's you have BBC. We have Radio Television. It's just movies all day for those 3 days. There's no breaks. There's no ads. It's just movies, right? They'd have like all sorts of Disney movies. They'd have Die Hards. They'd have James Bond. They'd have Lord of the Rings. But they would have like the 3 movies of The Hobbit. Then they'd have the 3 movies of Lord of the Rings. They'd have Avatar. They'd have like all the James Bonds as well. And they'd have like Disney movies, but they're all segregated into different times. So I feel like, as well as the Harry Potter as well, they do like, I think it's how many Harry Potter movies is there? Like 10, would say. Like there's so many. But
8
the
or
10 days
7.
before Christmas or whatever, they'll have each Harry Potter film on at 6 p.m. that night to lead up
Ah,
to
Really
Christmas.
that
okay.
many Harry Potter movies? Though?
There's 8.
Oh, there's like 7 or 8, yeah.
Really?
7
I think
books, and 7 was broken up into 2 movies.
Yeah.
Into 2 bear, yeah.
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 But it's
I
the
think I
same
fell
with
asleep
like,
in the first one, so
what? Oh my
so
god.
boring.
No,
Really?
it's
You liked
not.
it?
Oh my god.
It's kind of like Game of Thrones season 1. It starts off very slow, not a lot happens, but it starts really
It's
picking
so
up.
good.
Really
Oh.
picking up. Like you reach, in my opinion, and I might upset some people with this, my absolute favorite Harry Potter is Prisoner of Azkaban.
Same.
That's my favorite one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, no,
and
I
Goblet of
do.
Fire.
It's in 5, the 5th one, which was the. Oh shoot! They go to the Ministry of Magic. I gotta look it up now. What was the 5th?
Is that when they infiltrate it?
Yes, I think so.
That is, I'm pretty sure that's. I want to say Half-Blood Prince.
No,
Order of
not-
Phoenix.
No, not Lord of the Phoenix. Hang on, 5th movie.
Could be Deathly Hallows actually.
It's going through them all until.
It's got to be one of them, hasn't it?
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Eventually.
It
Yes.
turns out it was an Avatar after all.
But Ariana,
Guys,
how
what
old
I'll-
is
what
your
I'll do
oldest?
is I'll leave you
Sorry?
guys alone because I'm going to have to go off and get ready for tomorrow because I have so much more work to do after this.
Well, thank you for
But-
coming
but
by,
thank
man.
you so
Good luck
much for having me
tomorrow.
on. And
Nice to
I
meet you.
listen. If I
Good
don't
luck
talk
tomorrow,
to you
man.
before Christmas, Merry Christmas. All right, we'll talk to you again.
Dude.
All the best.
Good
Good
luck.
luck,
Good luck.
mate. Catch you in a bit, bro.
Ariana, how old is your oldest?
6.
Okay, yeah. So when they get 9 or 10, they'll read the first Harry Potter book. It's so magical. You just suck it up and read it.
You
Absolutely.
make it sound like I'm going to bring that book in my house.
Oh.
Doubling down. I respect it.
Yeah.
I had to go. I've been on the train a few times lately, going out of King's Cross, and I hadn't been there for years. And seeing all these people queuing up to go to the bloody platform and go in the shop and everything,
yeah.
like
9
I
3/4.
don't know.
Yeah.
I know it's a good book, and the movies are, it's cool and all that. Like I liked it, but I'm not fucking queuing up to stand in front of a piece of wall in King's Cross.
So they
Nah.
really have that there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
my
There's
Lord.
whatever it is, a platform 9 and something or other.
3/4, yeah.
Yeah, and people are literally. There's any time I was there, like I think I've been about 4 times in the last month. The queue was to the end of wherever the queue is, and
Mad.
Wow.
it wasn't all people with little kids. It was grown-ups too. And
Yeah.
again, like, we come from the gaming community and the fandoms and all that. I get
Yeah.
it. It's fine, but like, I don't know. I suppose if they had a Tarkov platform, I'd be queuing up for that.
Oh,
wouldn't I?
yeah. The reserve train. You'd be all over it.
There you go. Yes.
Tequila's going around with a plastic hammer, just smacking people with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's always funny, like looking at other fandoms and going, "Oh, that's silly," and then we all know for a fact that if there was a Tarkov equivalent or a DayZ equivalent, we'd all be
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, definitely."
Yeah.
Yeah. We
It's
all
not
buy
Harry
the
Potter.
swag. We
Oh,
buy
well,
not
the
Harry Potter.
t-shirts and
Oh, yeah.
the killer masks people have.
Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah. I mean, they're going to expand their merch 100%. Like, I know that for a fact because the current merch store already has some really cool stuff in it. And there are so many people in like the community just making their own 3D models and stuff. I mean, there was like another guy recently who 3D rendered out completely a fully fleshed out model of Skilla, and it looks phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
Like, there's no reason. I mean, even Junker's 3D models and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
the guy who makes it for them, like they're amazing. Like, also, you haven't watched that Junker's new video? Watch it. It's so funny, so good.
Oh, the
That
wipe
is
5.
amazing,
Yeah,
yeah.
So funny.
I wouldn't know where to start to do all the 3D rendering of.
Yeah.
That's just. I'd love to know how, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, nope, this is not for me. I can't get into it. It'll be a bit like 3D printing as well. Like
Yeah.
something that's really cool, really interested in. Would love to know how to do it, but I have to acknowledge it's one of those things. There's not space in my life for.
It's
Well,
time-consuming.
Yeah,
The
we're
3D modeling. So I see people doing it with like Eroctic as well. I watch him a bit, especially when he was sort of learning Blender and things like that, and Cinema 3D, and it's amazing. And then there's a lot of applications for that that kind of cross over into the music world, and stage lighting and graphics. There's this thing called, I don't know if you've seen videos from a venue called Printworks in London, where they have these, it's sort of a very long venue, and they always have this big projection at the far end, and they do something so it almost looks like a hologram, like projecting onto sort of slightly translucent shit.
Yeah.
And but the that all crosses over into that rendering and 3D stuff that's just mad. But it's kind of you have to just pick one thing and really focus on it, or just become really, really rich and then pay someone to do it.
Pay
Yes.
someone to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know which one I'd pick. That's
Become really, really rich, and then pay someone to do it, and then you've got no money left because you've just spent it all on the 3D visuals. That's the problem with all of this. Like,
Oh. So now, John, do we have any Tarkov music in the works?
I haven't had any time. I'd love to. I sort of if I'd had a good idea for Streets, I'm sure I would have found the time to do it. But nothing in the previous songs I've done for Tarkov. I'd had an idea. I thought it'd be funny.
Yeah.
And I sort of Hold Your Fire. I did very quickly, but Lighthouse song and the MC Lightkeeper one, I wrote the lyrics in the back of my mind over a few weeks, and then recorded it all and filmed the video in a very short space of time. Which is like, it's insane kind of burnout vibes. I don't know how it's always good to do it. It like proves I can, but it's a stress.
Yeah.
No, I didn't really have a good idea for Streets. I have got I've got 2 other Tarkov songs in my head that I'm gonna do. I just sort of haven't got around to it yet. One of the a big change that's happening for me next year, I'm going to be doing a lot more music streaming on Twitch. Like the music community people sort of got in touch and
Nice.
trying to encourage me to do more music production stuff.
right.
So I'm kind of going to give myself a proper schedule and like 3 days a week, not 9 to 5, but sort of daytime. Just when I'm going to force myself to be writing music in the studio, but stream the whole process.
Oh, cool.
Doing some other stuff as well. But it's a good commitment that means I will actually make more music and finally get through my big list of stuff I want to do.
Excellent.
And sort of be able to share that with viewers and everything, and maybe grow the community in a different way to like different audience. So it means I'll be able to write more stuff and do some more Tarkov songs. So I want to like have there's quite a few I want to do that I can play during my streams when I'm doing certain things.
Yeah.
And there's other bits and bobs I'll be doing before Wipe if I've got time. Just for like the stingers I have when things, like when I find a Soleil where I have a thing that comes up singing about Soleil and shit. So there's a couple more of them I want to do that I will do before Streets, but not really Streets related.
Now, what's the story with the Nicki Minaj tweet you put out? You have a gold record, or what is that?
Yeah, so I just did the tweet because I saw in the trending on Twitter it was her birthday, so I just thought I'd be like, happy birthday Nicki Minaj, and show my thing off, and maybe like her fans would spot it or something, and they did. Like the tweet went bonkers. But no, it was like years ago, I think like 2010. I got an email out of the blue from a sort of copyright clearance place saying hello, and it had a little MP3 clip of her song. It said, hello, the artist Nicki Minaj has sampled your song Red Sky on this track. Here I am. We would like to clear the sample. And I was like, oh, okay. I hadn't heard of her at that point because it was for her first album, so she hadn't really grown up there. I don't have a manager who's like my manager all the time and takes a cut of everything I do. But I have a guy who is a music manager who's really, really good. And when I have something important, I engage him on the deal, and he then commissions that and everything. So I sent this stuff to him. I was like, can you sort this out? And he negotiated it and everything and did the contract and stuff. So yeah, they sampled one of my songs, cleared it, and I then got like a portion of the songwriting royalties because the song featured, most of the backing of it was basically my song, and it was her rapping on top, really. But also the original song I had released on my label, so they have to clear the different type of the recording side as well. So luckily they could clear it all through me. So yeah, it was amazing. Like it was a very long thing. Like I'd already learned long before that to sort of never get too excited about anything that happens in music until it's happened and you've been paid and all of that. Like I'm just very old and jaded with everything now. Like nothing really excites me. Even when I finally get paid, I'm like, oh, it happened then, cool. Like sort of like starved of the enjoyment of it. But it worked out well. Like they sort of paid in advance and then paid a bit of money, and then I just didn't hear from them for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And we had to go through all sorts of stuff to try and get any royalty accounting. And in the end, we went through everything from like literally telling them they have to take the whole album off because they're in breach of contract because they haven't paid for such a long time, and going direct to iTunes and things like that. But they wouldn't take it down because even though it was on Cash Money Records, it was sort of through Universal, and Universal were asserting rights and blah blah blah. So basically, the final option was there was this one hardcore lawyer out of New York, who's basically his whole business model, it seemed to me, was helping people like me who were owed money by this one label.
Yeah.
And in return, taking a very big cut of it. But he did get them. So. I can't remember how long ago that was, but since then he got our money, but took a huge chunk of it.
Oh God!
But now I do get accounted to and everything. But most of the bulk of it's all done. It's just little trickles of sales you get now.
But you got a record. What was that like? You got it, and were you surprised?
Yeah, so that's you have to pay for them.
Oh shoot!
the plaques, the platinum plaque thingies. My manager got it, and he bought it, but I think they're like £150 or something. But I don't even know how. I think you get it from the BPI, the British Phonographic, something or other, and you just have to phone them up or tell them, who you are and you're on this record, and like verify it has sold 1 million or whatever it's supposed to have sold, and they make you up a.
That's
cool. It is cool. It's one of my most prized possessions, and it's in my bathroom. But that's kind of. That's where everyone keeps them, apparently. That's the thing.
That's where everybody would see it, though, right? Everybody's guaranteed to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
True.
So that record is the equivalent of a first edition Dark Magician. There you go.
Yeah, and I'm not trading it for some Spanish Nicki Minaj.
Are you sure? We're not tempt you.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, man. I knew the music industry was messy in a lot of ways. I've got very limited experience with the music industry myself, John. And
well, you've got your degree.
Well, that as well, and yeah, I did a lot of original stuff, a lot of drum and bass myself back in the day. Like nothing, not a scratch on yourself, mate. But yeah, it's it's surprising how difficult it can be to get paid. Like I heard a lot of horror stories, and adding yours to the list, really, it's amazing how difficult it can be to get paid for work that you've done, and yeah, it's. I'm glad that you.
It's really. I think most people that continue to do okay manage because they run their own labels and find a way of releasing stuff kind of themselves, or if you're on a big major and you've got a good agent and a manager who's on top of stuff and not stealing the money from you like you often read about, then you're okay. But small dance music labels that run by people like me, one-man bands and everything, and doing all the accounting and everything on top of everything else is a nightmare. And some of these labels and everything, you can have one song that blows up and all this money flows in and they've sort of lost track of it, and meanwhile there's the kid who made the song who's 18. It could be life-changing for them.
Absolutely.
And it's sort of, but they don't even know because they don't really realize what the vibe is. And there's so much scope for really sad shit to happen to you in the music industry.
Especially when you're younger and less experienced.
More vulnerable, yeah.
Oh, and signing shitty contracts. Shitty contracts.
The kid's just excited that someone's paying attention to their music. They're like, whoa, this is amazing. I've actually got some recognition. Because, it's really hard to make it in music. I produced stuff for probably best part of 10 years.
I forgot you have an audio background.
Yeah. So I did music under Exert, actually, you know, I know obviously I'm Dan Exert now, but under Exert was, you know, that was the stuff I used to do. Just independent stuff, you know, drum and bass. I moved on to do a little bit of cinematic stuff just for a bit of fun towards the tail end of my music. I'm not going to call it a career, but you know, my journey, my music journey. And you know, you'd have all these like smaller labels and stuff paying attention to you. Like they send you a message and be like, "Oh, we really like your stuff." And you know, at the time, it's like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" Like someone official is telling me that they really like my music and stuff like that. And then you'd speak with your peers and say, "Oh, I've been contacted by these guys who run a YouTube channel." Like everything was YouTube back in the day. And be like, "Oh, these guys run a YouTube channel and stuff. You know, what do you think to them?" And it would be like, you'd get responses like, "I wouldn't recommend it." You know, especially from some of the older guys, they'd be like, "I wouldn't recommend it because what they do is they take your music and they play it, they upload it to YouTube
And monetize
it, and they take everything." And you
Oh.
sign in your contract, you're saying like that you hand over the rights royalty free basically, and essentially when you sign these contracts, these YouTube channels basically like own 100% of that music, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it because you've signed.
That's
You know,
funny,
and
that.
There was
is,
a
it
period
is.
of there was a Wild West in those early days of the music. You know, some of these music channels that are really big now that were just born on YouTube. They were just one person uploaded new tunes on YouTube, and lots of people listened to them. But they'd be monetizing them, and some of these things would get millions and millions of plays, and the original artist is unaware that there's any money to be made anyway.
Absolutely.
And, you know, half the time
Wow.
you've never met these people anyway, and it's just been siphoned off, and there's no way. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, before it sort of got more regulated and people knew how it all goes, and like yeah, there's thousands and thousands of pounds down the drain up somebody's
Yeah.
nose.
Yeah.
God knows what.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and I don't mean to name drop here, but I think it's been long enough for it to not really matter anymore. But I don't know if you've heard of a channel called NCS, like No Copyright Sounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did a tune back in like 2012, maybe 2012, 2013. That was uploaded by them, and I thought it was amazing. I was like, "Whoa, this is so cool!" And it got like, I don't know what it's got now, but you know, the last time I checked, like 7 years ago, it was over 1 million
Oh,
views on
wow.
it. Do you know what I mean? Which is, you know, which is really cool.
Want to tell me what
but-
the name of the song?
It's like a grand in
I don't want to talk about
ad revenue,
You
isn't
want to
it?
talk about it?
Yeah, exactly. If I hear my own music nowadays, it just makes me cringe. I'll send you a link or something later.
Okay, yeah. No.
And it's like really old as well, so it doesn't represent what I'm about now. But yeah, you know, it's it's just crazy, man. Like these you know, these channels and stuff, they'll take your stuff and they'll upload it and just keep 100% of the, you know, I was like,
Crazy.
I had no idea that money could be made on YouTube. Like I didn't know what YouTube was really. I mean, I was probably 18, 19, 20 years old. So, you know, I'd been in the army since I was 16, and when I joined the army, like Facebook was only just a thing, and I kind of growing up as a kid, I was never really allowed on the computer, so because I was always a little shit. Whenever I went near the internet, I used to do stupid shit like downloading fucking music and viruses and that. As you do. So I used to like brick the family PC and not be allowed on it. So I'd just go out and skateboard or whatever we'd do back in the day. So I literally grew up with like no internet, no idea what YouTube was, and no idea that you could make money from videos. And then there's this channel that's putting out like, you know, videos that are getting millions and millions of views and not paying the artists that are making the music in the first place. And it took me a long time. Like it took me lots of time, like years, to fucking figure out like, geez, like this is actually happening. People are being exploited.
Sad.
And yeah, it
Back
sucks.
in those
Yeah.
days, you couldn't flag stuff as easily. Like nowadays, if somebody uploads your music without your permission, or you realise they're monetizing it and scamming you when they said they wouldn't or whatever, at least you can sort of go through appeals things and all the rest of it on YouTube. But back then, you like, you know, you can't even contact them to say, "Oh,
Yeah.
this is," you know. It feels like that on TikTok now. Like there's always something that's the new Wild West, and there's basically lots and lots of content copyright theft.
Yeah, there's so much stolen content.
Booting
TikTok.
going
Well,
on.
and with that new
TikTok's full of that.
that new Lensa thing everybody was doing, all of those images are owned by Lensa, the company that created the app. Essentially, they own all the royalties to every image
yeah.
that's been produced.
I mean,
You can find out a way to make money off a Twitter profile image. Let me know.
yeah, genuinely. Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing with what I hate, detest about TikTok is when people take footage from new movies or series, whatever, and then post it on there and post it. I hate it, man. I hate spoilers of any kind. But like, you know, not so much like this isn't just like off like an episode that just released, for example. It can be, but it could be from a movie that's not even close to coming out on like streaming services or DVD or whatever. Not even close, but they've got it. They've got the footage on their phones or whatever. And they've uploaded it to TikTok to try and score some views and stuff.
Yeah.
It does me head in, man. It does me absolute head in.
Yeah, there's no shame, is there?
Nope.
There's no, like, it's everything now is just about views. It's about getting stuff out first. You know, and again, not going to name drop anyone, but we've seen it. We've seen it in the Tarkov community. You know, we've seen people obtaining information and you know, and delivering it just to be first and just to be the one that, you know, discovered it first. Is, you know, we're with content creation and social media, like we're in I call it like a first culture. It's like a first, like you always have to be the first. Like if you're not, I mean, we saw it in Talladega Nights, right? Ricky Bobby famously says, if you're not first, you're last. And it's, you know, that is reflected in content creation and social media now. Like if you're not the first in the world to do something, you know, nobody gives a shit. And
unless you're creating drama. And then that's, you know, that's a whole nother thing that, you know, people just do. Like, you know, I talked to Geeks there a while ago, and his, you know, he was like, you know, he called out Veritas, you're fat because I'm going to create drama and that gets views. And he goes, but that's not what I want. I don't want that community to, and, you know, it's a very valid point. You know, it's just, it's sad.
It is, yeah. Unfortunately, gone are the days where, like, you know, the good old days where
people had integrity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, you're right. It's, you know, it is funny, but it's at the same time it is serious. Like we've definitely seen a change. You know, there have been sort of shifts in the atmosphere when it comes to Tarkov and maybe just gaming in general. Like, unfortunately, you know, the whole toxicity and complaining and stuff, I think a lot of people find that relatable and maybe entertaining or whatever, and they kind of latch onto that. But unfortunately, that has a lasting effect on those who aren't that way inclined. You know, it's sad that that's the way that it's gone, but what can you do? You know, you just gotta do.
It's interesting because it ties in almost with a lot of the negativity around just communities and social media in general. Like, you'll never see people rallying together more than over a mutual hate or dislike. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be something as small as putting beans on toast or putting beans inside of toast. You know what I mean? It's so stupid, but you will see people rallying against each other because they dislike the other way.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the same thing with Tarkov, because, you know, I mean, going back to what you said, like, you know, back in the early days of Tarkov, the first culture, you know, people would upload bugs, glitches, show people how to reproduce it under the guise of, I'm showing BSG how to fix it. You know what I mean? Like, but it's in the day, it's you know, that's shameless in of itself. But, you know, like and I always noticed this, that you would get a certain group of content creators, and they'd all share the same communities, that they'd have each other on Alter Raid, Altos, or whatever, but they'd all share the same opinions. You know, they would have these same, you know, slang words for people with different play styles and stuff like that, and that would catch on. Some people would take them, you know, use them a bit more, you know, a bit more meme-ish, like as you should do ideally, but you get people who use them very seriously, and, you know, there's no good energy there. There's no good energy there. It's just, they play the game. You know, they're probably pretty good at the game. The moment something happens, it's never done. It's never it sucks, go again. You know, and whether that's an effect, to be fair to them, of just having to deal with repeated problems within the game, development-wise, bug-wise, whatever. If they're just sick and tired of it, fair enough. But
I just think no one has any patience in this day and age.
yeah. I agree.
At all.
I mean,
There is none.
and I said this the other day on Twitter. Once again, advertising. I said this the other day. Like, I miss the days when games would come out in a polished or completely polished state, but reflecting on how far game tech has come. Like engines and other stuff like that, and how the bar has always been set higher and higher with each year of releases, whether that's graphical performance, story, narrative, combat, whatever. It's gotten, because things have advanced so far. That also means the problems have gone up too, like with everything, and and it's got to the point now where I'm like, where I see a game being delayed that I really wanted to do, I'm like, oh, that sucked, but I'm happy they delayed it, because that means what it should mean is that this game is going to come out in a much closer to polished state.
Yeah, unlike Cyberpunk or some other games, Battlefield, the last Battlefield,
Yep.
But now, Claimer, you spent more time recently in the Cycle community, whereas Dan and John and Ariano, they've been in these communities for DayZ and the Tarkov community. How's the Cycle community been?
I think it's funnily enough, I think it's in the same place Tarkov used to be when it was kind of in its 0.8, 0.9 stage, like at a smaller, quite close-knit community that cared a lot about the game.
Yeah.
You'd get your big content creators coming by, whether for genuine interest or for sponsor segments, whatever, and then they'd leave, and But I think that community has a bit less of an underlying frustration with difficulty, because while Cycle, in my opinion, does have features that are more difficult than Tarkov is easily the more difficult game. Doesn't hold a candle to it. I think that right now the community is in a bit of a frustrated state, because we had the launch of Season 1. That was the full release of the game, basically. Oh, well, technically we had, was it 2 weeks of full release and then Season 1? Yeah, something like that. And in Season 1, and I'm pretty sure everybody who heard of Cycle knew about this, the game had a horrendous cheat problem. Horrendous. Like, it was getting absolutely just like ass slapped by RM tiers and everything. It wasn't good. So we went out of Season 1, came to Season 2, and I hold this to this day. I've not seen a developer turn around a cheating issue so quickly and efficiently than Jaeger have done.
Yeah.
And then the cheater compensation system as well. That's a system I've never seen before in another game, where if you run into someone, you die to them, they end up getting banned for not even just cheating, just exploiting or whatever, you would get their entire loadout back.
Oh, I love this. I heard you mentioning that about the Cycle.
Yeah.
That would be lovely to have in Tarkov. Like a bit of
I agree.
Pretty cool.
I mean, Ashley made a video on it. Says that Tarkov needs it, and I agree. I think the Tarkov. I had a conversation with one of the devs about the compensation system and how there are games where it's easier to implement, and there are games which are much harder to implement. Cycle is one of the harder games because of the nature of the items. Like for example, I think it'd be much easier to do in Tarkov because the insurance system has been in place for so long. They would just need to essentially take that insurance system, change the parameters and conditions for it, and just put it over there. You don't get ammo back, you don't get meds back like usual. I mean, in Cycle, you don't get back. You literally get back your armor, you get back your guns, and you get back any special items that you might take in. Like, for example, maybe you had athletics handy on you or whatever. You get that back essentially. I think that Tarkov would be way more difficult to implement it too, but I do think that if they did do it, like it's funny how much respect and faith that system generated for Jaeger.
Yeah.
Like people absolutely adored it, and it's always like like rather than die to a cheater again. That's the 5th loadout. I've lost to data cheaters. I'm not getting that back. What's the point? But then when you think about it, like, I die to a cheater. I'll get the kit back anyways. Just report them. Let's move on. The energy you invest into that immediately is very low with the conversation, which I do like a lot. But yeah, sorry, a bit of a tangent. Long story short, Season 1 came out. Cheat was bad. Season 2 came out. Cheat is barely a problem. Still to this day, barely a problem. But because the cheating system was so bad in Season 1, people were just trying to play the game out of time.
Yeah.
Which means that the problems the game had, the fundamental issues the game had, it was almost like they were camouflaged by the cheating issue.
Oh wow!
Like there were still things like balancing and mechanics and bug fixes stuff going like that, but there were some fundamental core issues of the game that were affecting its longevity and its like maintaining the interest.
Yeah,
and that's what they're working on right now. The season's been extended till the next season 3, and they've been essentially rebuilding the game from the ground up, at least in terms of vital core systems and stuff. And yeah, everyone's just kind of biding their time right now. They're trying to play the game, having a good time, but season 3 is when people are going to come back, and I can't say too much because I'm a partner with them, and I do have a lot of inside info. But it's going to be when the game thrives, I think.
Cool, very cool. So now we're getting close to the end of the year here. What's been everybody's highlight? Let's start with Mr. John B. What's your been highlight for the past year? Year away from the whole COVID madness and sort of normal.
I don't know. I think Dan said earlier on, like the concept of what year it is and what's been going. Things that have happened this year in my mind actually happened the year before or whatever. For me personally, like it's been nice to get back doing some gigs. I haven't had loads, but I've had some good ones. It's nice to sort of feel a bit kind of validated, I suppose. I played some quite nice big festivals. It's good to like not feel like a dinosaur, I suppose. I had a really good gig last weekend. It felt like my best gig in ages. I was playing a drum and bass classic set, so I was playing older stuff from like 97, sort of early 2000s. For Metalheads, which is probably my favourite drum and bass label ever. And it was a daytime event in a sort of industrial docks area in East London. And it was sold out and had a really good set time and had an extended 2-hour set. And I really played a really good set of all the stuff that I grew up listening to. I've been every Sunday night I've been playing classic sets anyway, so like I'm used to it now. So it was great to kind of do that to a crowd that really knew their shit. They were all a lot older of that generation.
Yeah.
So that was really good.
Nice.
Doing the Killarda was amazing. Doing the song for Pestily, that was
that's right. That was really
was
good.
Awesome. So good that came about. Like such an honor, and I'm glad it came out sounding good. Like I was really worried I wasn't going to sort of be able to nail the brief, and because it was obviously really important to him for his project. And I wanted to do a good job because I'm a massive fan, and I knew the whole Tarkov community would see it like a lot more than when I just make one of my own Tarkov songs.
Yeah.
They still don't reach as far as I'd like them to. So I knew this was another good way for people to know who I was and see me doing fun stuff. So I was really pleased with that. That was cool. And I guess like sort of it's taken quite a long time talking to the people at Twitch about my shift in my music content next year. Like that's going to be really, really cool as well, and I'm excited to do that. Like for a lot of reasons, like about sort of having a more kind of a regular schedule for myself personally, and knowing that I'll be making more music. And so I'm trying to like reassess what's important to me in my life, and what makes me happy, and things, and like creating music that is done and everything. Like I can play DJ sets as often as I want and all that, but that's a moment and it disappears. And as I get older, I want to be creating more stuff that hangs around afterwards and that I can be proud of, that I feel like has sort of changed something or affected people a bit more. So I'm looking forward to doing that. It's going to be a lot of work, but that's going to be cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
How about you, Claymore? What was your highlight of the year?
I think for me personally, a lot's happened this year, obviously. A lot of great things. I think the highlight of my year genuinely was TwitchCon.
Yeah.
First ever convention of any kind I've gone to.
Now, were you talking about the European one?
Yeah,
or
I
did
was,
you
I,
come
I was going to
stateside?
mention that.
EU.
as well.
Yeah, EU. Sorry, yeah, EU. So it happened. And I buddied up with Purple Venom. We were buddying up for the trip, and I never met the guy before. Talked to him a fair bit, but never met him before. But we ended up it was such a good time. Meeting everybody, yourselves included, at least Dan and Ariane. I don't think I met you at TwitchCon. At least it might have been a big whirl, but I know Dan definitely go. But yeah. But yeah, no, I think just the hangovers weren't the greatest part, definitely. But like the night spent there was so great. It was so great. I mean,
it was lovely to see everyone at TwitchCon all getting on so well, and like It's the first time for me to be in a situation like that where there's all these people that I knew sort of from online and maybe I'd done some raids with or just watched you streaming. Like I'd never like chatted to you personally, but I've watched you stream heaps and heaps and heaps. So it's a bit weird because you feel like you know people, but you've never really like talked in the same way you would normally. And then you're like, oh, we're all here. Hello, what's going on? And but everyone, it was great, and it was just so nice.
It was everybody just got on straight away. You were talking to each other. They weren't feeling too like weirded out by it. Like everyone.
And there was no
just
sort of
talked.
weird bully rivalry bollocks.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
I didn't notice any like weird jealousy, slidey comment like because you get that with other stuff. Like when there's lots of DJs hanging out and stuff. There's a lot of you sometimes feel there's a bit of jostling for like where in the hierarchy and
Oh,
not
really?
too much, but, like just I don't know. Sometimes I notice things that other people wouldn't. But I just felt like everyone was all on the same team at TwitchCon, and it was lovely, and everyone was so friendly and accepting. Like I think my wife was with me, and everyone was so nice to her, and
Now, what were you expecting? A throwdown between rival Tarkov content creators or something at TwitchCon?
I mean, I don't know about you, dude, but the beef between Walker and Blank and Bilbo and Nine, that's very real IRL as well. That's very, very real. Holy shit, it was so entertaining to watch them go at it. It was great. So good.
Oh, my. And how about you, Dan? What was your highlight of the year?
Probably meeting John B, mate, in real life.
Nice.
That was my highlight, yeah. So
was a lovely
basically,
day.
it was really good, mate. So Alison, my better half, she basically organized a double secret birthday surprise for me, right? And the first night was a couple of the guys from the Dink Squad, our guys, mods and subs and stuff like that. Some of the guys from the community, and we got a curry on the Saturday night. And she'd organised it all, and I walked in, and it was all like, whoa, as you can imagine. And I was like, whoa, what's going on? Like, I was completely taken back. I was like, bloody hell. And I thought that was it. I thought that was it. We went home on the Saturday night. We said goodbye to everyone. I thought, what a lovely night, amazing experience meeting everybody, and then we all went home. And then she said to me, she goes, "Oh, we're just gonna have some, we're just gonna have some dinner, you and me today." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm happy for that." I was like, "Where is it?" And she told me where it was, and I was like, "Yeah, cool." So we drove over, and we was going into this little. It was like what was it, John? It was like a riverside, like big, massive. What was it?
Yeah, it was this big venue, like had the river, and they had campsite there and stuff. All sorts of different camping, like permanent, like yurts and cabins, and then a big sort of recreational area, like
all these kids were playing on this massive thing.
Yeah.
Like massive restaurants and stuff. And then there was this private venue room upstairs. It was beautiful, actually. It was really nice. And we was walking up the stairs, and she was like, "Oh, it's just this way." And I was like, "How does she know? Like, how does she know so much about this place? Like, how does she know so much about this venue?" I was like, "Okay." And then we was going up the stairs, and everyone was standing there all around the room, and it was like, "Whoa!" Again. I was like, "Oh my god, not again, bro!" Like, jeez. And she's got me twice in a row. And there's loads of people from the community. John was there, of course. That was obviously really, really cool. And then there was like a couple of guys from my like real life, because I'm big into cars. And hence the bloody stream writing, right? I'm big into cars and
Forklifts.
Forklifts. I love forklifts. And there's a couple of guys from the car community and the Twitch community as well. And then it was just it just blew me away, really, because and I said this on the day. I said this to John as well, so apologies for repeating myself here, but you don't when it comes to the internet and having mates on the internet and like chatting with each other on Discord or like chatting with each other on the stream, it's very different actually meeting people in real life. And I didn't go to TwitchCon, but for those of you that did go to TwitchCon, like meeting people in real life that you know fairly well from Twitch or from the internet or whatever, Discord, it's just such a surreal experience.
Mhm.
And yeah, that was like probably, well, not even probably, like that was definitely the best birthday I'd ever had.
Nice.
And
man.
and yeah, she she organized it all and somehow managed to keep everyone quiet, because you know what it's like, you've always got one person that's like, oh, so when are we doing this secret thing, and she did an amazing job at keeping everyone quiet. And yeah, so long story short, well, not really long story long, that's definitely the highlight of my year.
Nice.
And yeah, it was really cool, really
And
cool.
Ariana, how about you? What's been your highlight for the last year?
There's been so many good things. It's really hard to choose. Probably the offer to work with Bohemia, which was pretty cool. I never took it, but it was cool to get an offer from a gaming company to
No
work with
way.
them. So yeah, they wanted to host my event, Queens of the Castle, on the Livonia map, which I decided not to do because it wasn't really with my vision. But that was a really cool thing to have happen,
Oh,
even if I
cool.
didn't take it.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, to
yeah.
be recognized by
That's
this
cool.
game developer that
Yeah.
you just are so passionate for.
So that's probably the main one. Yeah, out of all the things that I've done this year.
Yeah.
Good
Awesome.
stuff. I mean, just like you said, just the acknowledgement alone. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That is really cool.
And now, how about for next year? Let's start with John B. What's your plan? Well, the highlight for next year. You're gonna more music stuff. You were talking about.
I'd like to I'd like to get more music written and release more stuff. I'd like to get max traders. This year, I'm only level 39 or something.
Oh man.
Yeah, I try and enjoy my life a bit more. I just work so much. I mean, all you guys will do the same. Content creators, self-employed kind of vibe. It's just never ends. I'd like to find a way to somehow relax a bit, even if it's just the only time I really relax now is when I wake up in the morning and I have my breakfast. And then once I start, I just keep going until it's bedtime. Like, I don't even have kids. Those of you with kids, well done. I don't know how the fuck you do it.
Yep.
I'm like, boo-hoo, poor me. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I could not do it, mate. Honestly, like we've got Rodney, and he's a cat, and he's like
He's a cat. Fucking hell. Jesus.
mate. He's a handful on its own, man. So
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
he is. He needs to be fed twice a day. Like,
Twice. Oh my god.
do you know what I mean? Like, can hardly keep up.
I'll tell you what,
Here's
Dan. You
me
keep...
like running on 3 hours sleep. Like, yeah, sure, mate. You fucking cat. Jesus.
You better watch out for the next surprise party, Dan. It might be a different kind of announcement, mate.
Oh,
Wow, we'll see, mate. I think, to be fair, without going into too much detail, I think we've both decided that we're
Don't do
focusing
it.
on careers at the moment. And
Yeah, don't do it. It's a
you know,
trap. Don't do it. Never do it.
It's
Run
a
away. Don't
trap.
have kids.
Yeah, we've decided the same. Yeah.
Oh God. And how about
Enjoy
you?
your freedom.
Yes, the
Yeah,
freedom.
for sure.
Sleep. Yeah, you can sleep through the night and everything. What's been your highlight, Dan? Or no, what's your goal for next year?
Goal?
Or something you're looking forward to?
I mean, this year's been interesting with regards to like diversifying content. For the first time, really, I'd spent probably best part of a month or 6 weeks not playing Tarkov for the first time in 5 years, and I'll be brutally honest with you. Like, it's been scary. Like, it's been a bit of a butt clencher, but it's been liberating at the same time. I've been playing Stalker. I've discovered Stalker. Like, I was like, whoa, what's this? Made a load of content for that on YouTube, like guides and story stuff that I've been working on. I've been playing Need for Speed on stream, which has been amazing. Like, it's been absolutely incredible. Played a lot of World War 3 as well, and sort of helped the community out with World War 3, like guides and how to level up and that sort of thing, because there's really not a lot of videos and stuff. There's not a lot of people covering it, so I was like, well, it's a really fun game. It's free, so everyone can join in, everyone can play if they like, and there's a massive sort of gap in the market, really. I was like, well, I'm playing the game anyway, and I'm really good at it. Just saying. I was like, yeah, why not make some content for it? Yeah, and that's been really, really cool. And I think for next year, I want to sort of just I want to go back to my roots of being streaming and being like the head of a community that's not solely revolving around Tarkov. Now that's not to say that I don't like Tarkov or I'm not playing Tarkov anymore or any of that stupid stuff that that comes up. But I want to just like go back to it being about the community and about like people who I resonate with and people who resonate with me, rather than the community being about Tarkov.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because again, obviously being a BSG emissary, I've got a lot of responsibility there. I've got a lot of love for the game. I've got a lot of experience in the game with 10,000 hours over the last 5 years. That's not going anywhere. But I think for me mentally and for the health of my community and my guys, like it's so important to remember why you do what you do.
Also the mental health of you too. Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think with the sort of the not how quickly or how fast Tarkov sort of fizzled with his last wipe, I think it opened the doors for a lot of content creators who've been maining Tarkov to get outside of their comfort zone and try new games. And I think it's been great to see everybody do that and succeed with it.
Yeah, it's been really, really cool. And it is scary as well because like, you go from playing the game that everybody knows you for to playing stuff that they might not be interested in. And you can't blame people for losing interest and going elsewhere. It is what it is. You know, if McDonald's stopped making Big Macs, I'm probably going to go Burger King or I'll go KFC or whatever because that's what I like. I like Big Macs from McDonald's, which is kind of a weird analogy when you think about it. But
it is, but it works.
yeah, you kind of if your favorite content creator or whatever stops playing your favorite game, naturally people are gonna go and watch their favorite game elsewhere. And I don't hold any grudges. I don't hold any bad feelings towards that. But it is scary because I create content full time. I stream full time YouTube videos and whatnot here and there. And going like you say, getting out of your comfort zone and playing games that you're not sort of known for or whatever. It can be super scary, but goodness me, like the World War III community, the Stalker community, the Need for Speed guys, like they've all been so cool. They've all been like, wow, we've never seen you playing this game before. Like, what do you think to it? And they've, I think it was what day is it today? Wednesday. Yeah, is it Wednesday?
It is Wednesday. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Monday we did it was like a 14.5-hour stream. We played Tarkov for like 6 hours. I jumped into Need for Speed, and we played that for like 8.5 hours, man. And this guy came in the stream because he was in my race, and he absolutely smoked me. And I was like, "How are you so fast?" And then we just spent the next like 8 hours doing car builds and like, teaching me how to like cut corners and like use your boost in the right times, silly stuff like that. And yeah, it's just been really cool. Like it's been really cool. So I want to, get to the point of what I'm saying. I want to continue enjoying games, like enjoying different games and remembering why I got into gaming in the first place is because, gaming offers so many different experiences, and it's a shame to stop to limit yourself, and it's a shame to like stop yourself from experiencing everything that gaming has to offer. And that's my plan.
Cool.
Basically.
All right. And Clay, what's your goal or highlight you're looking forward to this upcoming year?
I mean, just echoing off Dan, I did the same thing. Came on Tarkov after. I mean, I dabbled in a couple of games. It was never like a permanent. It was only like a break waiting for the wipe a few weeks, but properly swapping over from one game to another. Like, so much anxiety with it. So much anxiety. And then you look at the numbers side of things. Things might look a bit lower for a bit, but then you stick at it and you show people you're not just like doing whatever you feel like. At least not in the current time. They'll respect you at the end.
Yeah.
Then that community for whatever game you're coming in, they'll come in and chill out with you. And just being able to do that. Like the things I'd love to have done with BSG, but I never really pushed for it. I did with Jaeger and the Cycle. I pushed for being, part of the partner program and stuff like that, and offering my feedback. A lot of it they take very personally and seriously, and even to the point where they vibe with me so much and I vibe with them so much, they were willing to give me an interview with their lead anti-cheat community dev. I just never would have done that if I didn't take the risk and diversify a little bit. So next year I want to do that. I want to continue doing that. Will I come back to Tarkov for Streets? It's a strong maybe still, because Tarkov major patch launches are infamously not great for the first week. So I'll give some time for the dust to settle a little bit. Just to see, I mean, if they do it straight away, fair play to them. But I know for a fact, tons of people are going to come back to Streets. Tons of them.
Yeah, it's the biggest patch ever for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm fully expecting that to happen. But either way, we'll see what happens. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I owe so many things to Tarkov and the community. The majority of the friends I've made, Tarkov community, so it's good to honor your roots like that. Next year though, there's going to be a lot of personal growth for me. Driving tests next year, book that. Going to be a lot of. I'm going to finally, truthfully, honestly. I know
now, hang on. Driving tests. We're not talking about you just getting your driver's license. Let's just.
That's driving. Yeah. That's where I become a bit independent on the road.
Yeah.
So that's booked for March. So I'll give you plenty of warning. Don't worry.
Take my car, put it in the garage.
Car off the road. Yeah.
Wait, hang on though. I think Dan should let you take his baby for a little ride, maybe.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I don't even trust myself in it, mate. No, never mind someone else.
Dude, the curbs must give you so much anxiety.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude.
Guys, I'm really sorry, but I've got to go now. Okay.
Thank you so much, John. Happy
Merry
Christmas.
Love. See ya.
Bye. Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So that's some personal growth as well. I think this year, the fact that I have moved away out of comfort zones, I've come to a lot of personal realizations and stuff like that, ready to crack on with those too.
Yeah.
I think one of the other biggest goals I'm going to push for, though, is getting a YouTube partner.
Yeah.
Because it has been going very well over there. Getting that sorted opens up so many options for me, but also it's just, YouTube's, I've been enjoying doing videos, like with Tarkov, I think that, I didn't get into it early enough. People with guides and stuff. There was always, when you think of like Tarkov guides, you go
Pestilly,
Deadly Slob.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing or whatever. I didn't right time, right place, And I don't think for the first few years of streaming, I didn't do enough to diversify and stuff like that. Get out there and make content. And I feel like I've really done that this year, and the results have already spoken for themselves. And I really just continue doing that the next year too.
Excellent. Now with the driving thing, so my son, when he did his driving test a few years back, they didn't even have him to parallel parking.
Yeah, I've obviously I've talked to a couple of people about their tests and stuff in the last 5 years or so. Well, not 5 years, more like 2 years or so. But that seems to have been a common theme, which means now that I'm just going to practice it more because it's gonna come up like that. You know what I mean? Like emergency stops as well. They might ask me to do that, and then I have to make sure it's a smooth stop and whatever. But
oh man,
it's more or less gotten to the point now where I'm taking everything I've learned and applying it to the different roads.
Yeah.
So I think I'm at that point now where I'm ready to take the test, because I think that one thing that my brother's actually convinced me to do is not to think it's absolutely perfect. Just get to the point where your instructor thinks you're good to take the test, and then just go from there. Because everybody keeps telling me the same thing. The real test comes after you pass. Everybody keeps telling me the exact same thing.
Yeah. Cool. And now, Ariana, what do you have goals for next year?
Maybe I'll finally make Twitch partner after 7 years. We'll see. That, and just I got my 4 events, obviously, that I've planned out for the year. So one each season. So
another Queens of the Castle and a Kings of the Castle.
Another Queens, another Kings, and then I'm doing War of the Women in January, and then I've got Three's Company, which I'm doing in April.
Nice.
So, just plan the whole year out. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what are the 2 other ones? What kind of a game mode are they going to be?
Well, the War of the Women is like a war situation. So obviously, two teams of 18 versus each other. with spies on either side, just to make it juicy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's over Stoliski Island and like the mainland of Chernarus. And then I'm not telling you anything about the other one, just the name.
Okay.
It's just a trio mixed event.
Yeah.
So you're gonna know. So yeah,
Okay.
there's no details been released about that yet.
All right. There we go. All right. Well, hey guys, we are over 2 hours here, and I can't thank you guys all for sticking around, man. This was awesome. Nice to catch up and see you all
It's
again.
really interesting.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. It's nice to.
Always a good time, man. Always a good time.
Yeah, nice to hang out. Like, obviously, streaming can be quite a solo adventure. Can't it sounds silly that you're chatting with people all the time and you chatting with chat and playing with other people and stuff like that. But it can feel like quite a solitary profession. So it is important to to just hang out and
shoot the
chat
shit
for a bit.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was, and it's so cool because everybody came, and like you said, every day you see you on stream or whatnot, and you're interacting. Maybe you're doing some running with somebody else, but just to not play and come and hang out for a couple hours. It's really nice to have you all together.
Yeah.
Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
for having us. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, you guys all have a good Christmas.
You too.
Yeah, you
You
too.
too.
Mate.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, guys.
Take care,
All
guys.
right.
Take
Good
care,
night.
guys.
Good
Peace.
night.
Bye, guys. See you
Good night.
later.